All right, everybody, welcome to Food TV. You're watching Food TV on the real Food TV. Did I say that right, Bob?
No. You're watching Food Theater on the real Food TV.
Food Theater, yes. Second show of the day, people. Give me 1 second. Just got to do a couple more checks before we get into the show. All right, so stop the setup. Give me 1 second. All right, this is the second show of the day. I did a sports show earlier. For anybody who loves this channel, this is one of the greatest channels known to man. What do you think about that, Bob?
I think it definitely is.
It's pretty damn amazing.
If not the greatest channel.
Yeah, it's up there. It's up there. It's just the best. Yes, it's the best. It's hard to be the best, you know. Remember, people, to hit the like button. Supposedly it helps the channel. We really are trying to build the channel up. Today we're going to be doing some trivia, and we're going to be watching Night of the Living Dead. Are you excited, Bob?
I am, and we've got some folks in the comments. We've got UFO Cafe, El Pinchy, and Recognize the Matrix.
What's up, guys?
Hello,
what up,
everybody.
Got the Matrix in there. The Matrix himself, people. All right, people. Bob.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Night of the Living Dead?
Probably, I
The
think.
original?
Maybe. I
Because
don't
there
know.
was a remake.
I don't know. Possibly.
All right. You got any info on it, Bob?
I do.
You want to tell us?
I don't know, maybe.
Let us know.
Okay, so Night of the Living Dead is from 1968. It's an American independent horror film directed, photographed, and edited by George A. Romero. It was written by Romero and Russo and produced by Russell Steiner. It stars Dwayne Jones, Judith O'Dea, and follows, and I'm not going to tell you about the plot. So...
You're going to save it for us?
I am. Apparently, Romero, Russo, and Steiner gained their experience creating television commercials, industrial films, and segments for Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Wow, fitting.
So that's kind of an interesting
Went from the undead to...
play into zombie flicks.
That is pretty interesting, isn't it?
This is based primarily on Richard Matheson's 1954 novel, I Am Legend, which we actually covered already at Foo Theater. We watched that a few months ago. And this was shot between July 67 and January 68 on location in Pennsylvania using guerrilla filmmaking techniques.
What do you mean by that? What does that mean? Did they have gorillas working the cameras?
No, basically they DIY'd and jerry-rigged a whole bunch of stuff. And they completed the film on about $100,000 with no crew, no real set, and no real crew, as it were. They rented a condemned farmhouse to destroy during the course of filming.
Iceman says, so beta zombie? Nah, these zombies aren't beta.
It's OG zombie, actually.
Yeah. Well, not exactly OG. This is a lot further from the films we've been watching over the last week, right? This came out towards the end of the 60s.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know it when you look at the movie. It's shot in black and white, which at the time really wasn't what people were doing, right? They were shooting all in color. Most films, I think, were being shot in color. Even though I think black and white looks great.
I do, too.
They really should make more zombie movies in black and white, I feel like.
So because this film happened after the Hayes Act, but before the rating system, it kind of fell into a bit of a gray area of who it's appropriate for. Is it appropriate at all? And it created a big
poster. Sorry, people. I got to fix that.
It created a lot of hullabaloo and press because it's very violent and very gory. So that created a lot of problems when they were releasing it in theaters.
Yes.
and it's thought of to this day as a touchstone in the development of the horror genre.
Okay. I really hope this is set up correctly, because I'm looking right now and this actually has the wrong poster, so I hope my trivia questions are correct. Give me one moment while I put
Iceman wants us to send them a fruit basket with bananas.
Well, I'll do that. Is that what you guys want?
An edible arrangement.
Edible zombies? What do you think about them apples, Bob?
I mean, I think that an edible arrangement for zombies would be like a people bouquet.
Yes.
A bouquet of brains.
Wait, where the heck is my return? Where was my... I had the poster for this. I really got to get the poster for this. This is what we...
Broski, I don't know.
Yeah, this doesn't have the right poster. Give me 1 second, people. I find it. I had this... I set this all up. I might have actually started the show in the wrong file. Give me 1 second.
But, it's interesting because now with the lens of modernity, people are talking... Well, they started talking about this in the 90s. But they're talking about how this film is actually a reflection of social and cultural change and problems and,
yes.
and this, that, and the other thing. And while, you know, I can see the argument for that, because any piece of media made will inherently reflect the time in which it was made, I think that kind of minimizes the story itself. Like, I don't think it needs to be some big cultural reckoning. Like, not everything needs to be a cultural reckoning. Some things can just be horror movies.
Yeah. But they seem to, I guess, go past a certain time period when they try to make it like it's a social issue.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, whoa, this is totally of the times, right? Keeps them relevant. And so there's the poster. That's the original poster. So it was a bit edgy there, Bob, wasn't it?
It was extremely edgy. It was very violent. It was very gory.
Got a naked zombie with their butt being covered by an elbow. You see that?
Yeah, it was...
It's a zombie butt.
Explicit content, gore, and violence. And that was really groundbreaking for the time. Because remember, during the Hays Code, a married couple couldn't even be perceived as sleeping in the same bed, right? So going from the world of Leave It to Beaver to... and like I Love Lucy to this
sorry, people. Give me 1 second. I have to you can keep talking, Bob. I'm just testing some stuff out. Continue on.
Going from that world to a world where we're seeing zombies ripping people to pieces. You know, it is a seismic shift.
Oh, well, it is. This is incorrect. And I don't know if I could stop it or switch. I might need to switch. This doesn't have the trivia questions in it. Give me 1 second, people. Oh, shit. Sorry about that.
Marquez. You know what I'm saying? Reppin' might be dead, but
I guess I
Marquez is
created
still alive and he's
another
living his
build.
life. So that's
this
why
is the
I'll
wrong
say
build of the show. So what do you want to do, Bob? You want to try to switch over, maybe?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how any of that works.
All right. Hopefully I could switch over without the stream going down. Give me 1 second. Continue what you were saying.
Hey, UFO Cafe. Hey, Iceman, you good? PPP?
What? What'd you say, Bob? Are you reading comments right now?
Yes, I'm reading comments.
Okay. The people watching the show can't see that. Bob is reading comments right now. Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to set this up so we have the trivia questions for later in the show. All right. Just keep talking, Bob, while I'm setting this up.
Okay.
Okay.
So has everybody in the comments seen this version of Night of the Living Dead? Because as Fu said before, there was a remake later.
Yes, there was. This is the original, obviously, right? 1968 original. Yeah, I don't understand. I the other day I set this up. This might have just glitched and not saved any of my settings. What I'm looking for, people, is the different files I have for the trivia questions, which is really irritating because it took me a little while to set all this up. I have another file here. It just simply says Foo Theater. That might actually be the one. I'm going to click that right now. If we go down, we'll come right back. All right. I'm going to click this right now. Hopefully it doesn't F everything up. All right. Okay, give me 1 second. All right, I've gone into the dark realm. We're going to see if that worked. Hopefully that fixed everything. Is our stream still up, Bob?
It is still up.
Okay, great.
So UFO Cafe.
And it's still wrong.
In
now
the
it's
comment-
Reefer Badness.
Okay.
I think what happened is that this didn't save my settings.
Okay.
Go on. Yes.
UFO Cafe in the comments is saying that he saw it 25 years ago.
Wow, that was a while ago.
That's a very specific timeline. It must have made an impact when you saw it.
Yes. I mean, it is a pretty impactful film. I think it's considered, it isn't the first zombie film, but it's definitely what put zombie films, I feel like, on the map, right? From there, everything else came, all the other great zombie films.
Well, I think I Am Legend put the idea of zombies on the map, and then Night of the Living Dead took it significantly further. I Am Legend is more an issue of man against himself, with zombies as sort of
I don't think
dressing.
it's not called I Am Legend. It's called The Last Man on Earth.
Right, but it's
Isn't
the story I Am Legend.
Oh, it's based on I Am Legend, yes. All right, people, good news, hopefully.
Julio Marquez.
The good news is that this is the right profile for the show. All I have to do is put in the graphic, and then we'll go on and watch, do the your regularly scheduled programming. I'm happy that this didn't crash. Hopefully it stays that way.
El Pinchy is saying that this movie scares him.
So
it's uncomfortable more than
is the wrong
scary.
graphic.
Like, I don't really think that this movie is particularly frightening. I think that this movie is more intensely uncomfortable. I'm not a gore fan. I don't find gore scary. I just find it like uncomfortable. So I think more so than it being frightening, it's uncomfortable.
Yes. All right. I'm going to have to mark this up after the show. Hopefully everything works just fine. All right, we're going to be watching the theatrical trailer for Night of the Living Dead in 1 second. All right, here it is. Are you excited, Bob, to see the original theatrical trailer?
Yeah.
All right. Just got to turn off the music. All right, here we go. Night of the Living Dead trailer.
Night of total terror. Night of the living dead, the dead who live on living flesh. The dead whose haunted souls hunt the living whose bodies are the only food for these ungodly creatures. Night of the living dead. A bizarre adventure in fear. An experience in shock, more shattering than your strangest nightmare. Night of the living dead. A night with the dead who cannot die. A night of total terror. Night of the living dead.
All right. That's Night of the Living Dead, the original theatrical trailer. Bob, what'd you think of that?
I mean, I think that they did a good job not giving too much away.
Yeah.
Like, there's enough of the plot that you're kind of curious.
Yeah.
But I do think that they did their audience a favor by being very transparent about how gory and violent it was going to be. So they didn't pull any punches on that. It didn't appear to be a psychological thriller and then bam, gore. Like, they were upfront about the gore, and I think that if they hadn't been, it would have been a really big problem. Because being upfront in that way allows viewers who do not like gore not to participate in gore.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there were some gory films at the time, but I guess maybe this was kind of up there, right?
Yeah, I mean, for 1968, this was a lot.
Obviously, this predates the slasher films and all that.
Yeah, because if you think about other films in this genre that predate this, right? You're looking at House on Haunted Hill, you're looking at The Last Man on Earth, you're looking at films like that, which don't go as far as this one goes.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's George Romero.
The Last Man on Earth comes close because it has very heavy themes of suicide. It has heavy themes of like nihilism. You see a lot of violence against the zombie creature things, but it doesn't go this far. So I think that for many people, seeing it laid bare like this, it was quite shocking.
Yes. All right, we're going to be watching it in a second. I'm just going to fix the chat real quick. Things have moved around because this crap undid itself. I adjusted a lot of these settings, but you know, a lot of moving parts on these shows, people, when you're using OBS. All right, Bob, you ready to watch the movie?
I am.
Okay. 1 second. All right, people, if you're new here, remember to hit the like button. Supposedly it helps the channel. And we're being throttled. That's obvious because we're just too awesome. Right, Bob?
Yep.
And remember to stay here for the trivia at the end of the show. That's why I went through all the trouble of, setting up that crap. This was not configured correctly. I'm going to have to mark this after the show. Just so that I know this is... Because I have multiple builds of the show, just so you know the little technical things. Many builds. A lot of builds, people. A lot of effing builds. Oh, that's in the way. And that was actually adjusted before, so that needs to be moved as well. But we'll adjust that after the show. But remember, you're watching Food TV. And by Food TV, I mean the real Food TV. You're watching Food Theater. Bob, should I move that right now? Because it's really
No, I think you should just start the
Bob,
film.
it's really annoying me. I think
okay,
I need
but
to
just start the movie.
you know what I need to do?
Okay.
Okay. There you go. There you go. I'm going to move this because it annoys me. Okay. Watch this, people. Watch how easy it is. It's like magic, Bob. It's like magic.
They can't see anything you're doing.
Boom. I fixed it, Bob. Just like that. All right. With that said, let's watch some Daywalkers. That's what they call them nowadays. You know that, Bob? They call them Daywalkers. That's from Walking Dead. But that sounds sort of like prostitutes, like zombie prostitutes. I think there actually was a movie called Zombie Strippers. I think I actually saw that.
Probably.
Right? I think it starred Jenna Jameson, had Tito Ortiz in it. If you want to watch a really terrible zombie film, that's one to watch. But with that said, let's watch some.
Is this going to be a talkie, or are we mostly just watching?
I feel like this is such a classic that we probably should just watch it. What do you think?
Okay.
All right. And we'll do a talkie later on. All right. But remember to stick around for the trivia. It's pretty cool. You can win stuff, people. All right. Here we go. Night of the Living Dead. Want to do a creepy laugh, Bob?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't.
You gotta have some fun once in a while, Bob.
No.
All right. All right.
They ought to make the day the time changes, the first day of summer.
What?
Well, it's 8 o'clock and it's still light.
A lot of good the extra daylight does us. Now, we've still got a 3-hour drive back. We're not going to be home until after midnight.
Well, if it really bugged you, Johnny, you wouldn't do it.
You think I want to blow Sunday on a scene like this? You know, I figure we're either going to have to move Mother out here or move the grave into Pittsburgh.
She can't make a trip like this.
Oh, you know that she can't. Is there any of that candy left?
No.
Look at this thing. We still remember. I don't. You know, I don't even remember what the man looks like.
Johnny, it takes you 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes to put the wreath on the grave and 6 hours to drive back and forth. Mother wants to remember, so we trot 200 miles into the country and she stays at home.
Well, we're here, John, all right?
Test. We're back on? Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming back on the air after an interruption due to technical problem.
There's nothing wrong with the radio. Must have been the station.
Which row is it in?
Well, there's no one around.
Well, it's late. If you'd gotten up earlier.
Oh, look, I already lost an hour's sleep on the time change.
I think you complain just to hear yourself talk. There it is.
I wonder what happened to the one from last year. Each year we spend good money on these things. We come out here and the one from last year's gone.
Well, the flowers die, and the caretaker or somebody takes them away.
Yeah, a little spit and polish. You can clean this up. Sell it next year. Wonder how many times we bought the same one. Hey, come on, Barb. Church was this morning, huh? Hey, I mean praying's for church, huh? Come on.
I haven't seen you in church lately.
Well, there's not much sense in my going to church. Do you remember one time when we were small, we were out here? It was from right over there. I jumped out at you from behind the tree, and Grandpa got all excited, and he shook his fist at me, and he said, "Boy, you be damned to hell." Remember that? Right over there. Well, you used to really be scared here.
Johnny.
You're still afraid.
Stop it now. I mean it.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're acting like a child.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of here.
Johnny. Oh! No! No! Johnny! Help
So this is sort of like where Resident Evil got its inspiration, right, Bob?
That's very much where Resident Evil got its inspiration.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, Thunderdome in the comments said she runs like Steven Seagal.
Oh, wow.
She does.
I think she moves a little more manly.
Now that we've seen it, we cannot unsee it.
Yes. I think she's a lot more manly. Just got to say it. You know he's a deity, right, Bob?
He's a who?
He's a deity.
Oh, yeah. We've covered that.
I'm a deity.
He's the Dalai Lama as well.
She's got a knife.
There's a house has been ransacked. That should be an indicator that there's something wrong.
Yes. But it's the Resident Evil similarities, and by that I mean obviously this was the inspiration for Resident Evil. You see how basically all the danger's outside the home, right?
Yeah. Well, for now.
Well, you know, the idea is to isolate in the house. Stay safe, bro. This house is clear. Oh no!
I'm not gonna lie, some of those are actually pretty cool mounts.
Oh, he's back again, Bob.
Ooh.
That zombie dude.
Oh man, he's like Jason Voorhees, man. No matter how far she goes or how fast she gets there, he's always just.
She thinks he's just a
steps
simple
behind.
meth head. She has no idea that he's undead. Why
I
is
like
it
that-
like dark through that window, but then where he is, it's light? Hello, there's a meth head trying to kill me. Hey, what's going on here? Why can't we hear her? Is there like no audio?
I don't know. I hear
mean,
the
there's
like
music.
phone. Yeah.
She's got her knife back.
Ah, the candy dish will
it's
save
night.
her.
When she looked out the window, it was light. Now it's dark.
Listen, they had $100,000 and no crew.
That's some
okay? There's no
continuity errors, huh?
continuity here.
No. But you could also see the similarities from Resident Evil there, right? You know how in part 4 where they have the zombie dude, he thinks he's a regular person? Resident Evil jacked this like crazy. The games? She's like, this sound is filled with meth heads. What do I do?
I don't think meth was a thing yet in 1968.
Damn, he took a lot of meth.
I mean, amphetamines were definitely a thing. That was every housewife's helper. But, you know, amphetamines powered World War II in some ways.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Get out of here. Israel lasagna. I just lost another fight in the UFC. Ugh.
It's all right. Don't worry about him. I can handle him. Probably be a lot more of them as soon as they find out about us. The truck is out of gas. This pump out here is locked. Is there a key? We can try to get out here if we can get some gas. Is there a key?
It's like fucking useless.
She's in shock, bro. She's in shock.
She's always useless, though.
Oh, come on, come on. She swept that house.
I suppose you've tried this. Do you live here?
What the hell going on over here? What you looking at, woman? Oh, just that? That's nothing.
Jesus.
That's just a meth head. He did too much meth.
We've got to get out of here. We have to get where there's some other people. Maybe we better take some.
Look how she's holding that knife. That is not a good idea.
Yeah, no, that is not how, like, obviously that is not a sharp knife.
Yeah, that's not.
She's holding it by the blade.
You should never hold a knife like that. This is an interpretive dance. Hi, Bob.
It is. She's performing fear.
That's some loud blood.
That's a reference to that Haunting on Hill House.
That's what I was thinking of when I
the
saw
Haunting
that.
of Hill House, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that
the
this guy like has just been like right to business
Yep.
while she just flails around uselessly.
Well, I mean, this is kind of the you would see this in the old timey movies, right? He's the man. She's not hilarious. She's hysterical.
Yes.
She's hysterical. So he's there to kind of like
We need Sean Connery to appear out of nowhere and slap her.
Yeah, he's the leading man. In the sequel, it was not the sequel, the remake. They turned it on its head. They made the woman like it was like this kind of like woman's empowerment kind of feminist agenda thing.
Yeah.
Even though I did like the remake, not yet. Get out of here, woman. Watch
Like at this point, honestly, he should just throw her out the door.
These guys are. That's my car. You damn meth head! Take it. Damn, I hate this drug. He's beating the ground. Get off of me. I don't have $1. Die.
But these it's interesting because in The Last Man on Earth, as well as this film, the zombies don't go as hard as they go in the original book.
Yeah.
I Am Legend. Like in I Am Legend, those zombies, like, well, they're not really zombies. They're sort of like vampires, maybe. It's unclear. Undead, semi-sentient beings.
Yeah.
They're like climbing walls and ripping through doors and trying to sexually entice the protagonist. It's like a whole thing.
But they don't look as creepy as these guys.
No.
These guys, the makeup, for the time is pretty cool. But they can't make it too gory, like Bob said. They wouldn't even they wouldn't be able to release the film.
I mean, they very nearly couldn't release the film as it was, because even though it slipped into the gap between the Hays Code and the rating system, it was so gory and so violent that there was a lot of hullabaloo around its release.
Wow, you stabbed him in the head, Bob, with a freaking, what is that? That's some kind of cartoon?
That is a tire iron?
Is it? Yeah, that's a tire iron. He stabbed him in the head with a tire iron. I usually do that to guys on meth, It's the only way to kill him, Bob. It's the only way to get him. Wait, get help! These guys just came out of rehab, Bob. It's right down the road.
Yep.
These guys are serious about drugs.
They are. They did not dare to resist drugs or violence.
Nope. He believes in tough love. Tough love.
And she's still flailing around completely uselessly.
Wow, look, he stabbed him in the head and he's still alive. Well, at that moment she realized she was in love with him.
Yeah, this is like almost a romance scene.
I'm thinking of a Spider-Man kiss there. Spider-Man kiss where he kisses him upside down.
Here you go. Here's your buddy back.
You dragging him outside, right?
Well, just in case he respawns,
Just let him walk it off. He'll be fine in the morning.
'Tis but a scratch.
Maybe I'll set him on fire.
Given that that's oh no, that looks like it's aluminum siding. But
he has no idea that these guys are zombies. He's literally just setting a man on fire. In his mind, that's just a man.
He's like, you know what? Fuck it. Full send. On flambe.
Fuck you and your drug habit. Get out of here.
Quags is saying that this looks like his family at Christmas waiting for their presents.
Israel Alazania was not messing around. Bob, he wasn't the same after his last couple of losses.
This is his redemption arc?
Yes.
As Thunderdome said earlier, he's a one-punch KOing the zombies.
Yes, with the tire iron. He's not doing too good with his hands lately.
No.
No.
I mean, you wouldn't be able. You
Maybe
wouldn't
I'll
be
hit
able
him
to
with
do
a hammer.
terribly well.
This guy has no idea
And
that
she's
this
still
is the undead.
like massaging that obviously very dull knife.
Yes, but it's supposed to be a knife. Like, why are you massaging a knife, lady?
Thunderdome in the comments said, "These white men gon' die." I imagine you typing that with a southern accent. I don't know why, but
Some board, something about the fireplace, something we can nail this place up.
He has no idea that these things are the undead. He's just like, he thinks he's just killing drug addict white people. Racist!
Look,
he could put a tire iron through someone's head, but saying "God damn it" is a bridge too far.
He thinks she's just afraid. Her brother's just been murdered right in front of her.
now I'm going to board up the windows and the doors. Do you understand? We'll be all right here.
I appreciate that she's having this mental breakdown, right? She's barely talking. You never see that in movies.
Yeah, but like I feel like it's gone on a bit too long.
No, come on. She has to sell it. Her brother just got killed in front of her, man.
Yeah, but I would, if I was that dude, I definitely 100% would have like punched her in the face and thrown her out the door.
Yeah,
Been
but
like,
he's-
you're fucking useless.
I mean, come on.
Go!
He doesn't know what's happening. He thinks she's just scared.
Hey, Outlaw Boxing.
What's up, Outlaw?
Yeah, Quags, this is definitely like that the protagonist's moment in the sun. He's like, now is my time. He is the Leonidas of his very own one-man Spartan army of an entirely useless woman.
Yes. Well, he has to help her. He's the man.
I
He's
mean,
the
he
man.
really kind of doesn't.
Look,
I would have
back in the day,
fucking cut my
they
losses
knew the
and
man's
failed.
role. In films, they knew the role, didn't they? Like, look, he's helping her. He's setting her straight.
Helping her. He
He is,
is the
Bob.
only sentient adult human
He was
in
2
that
seconds
house at
away
the
from
time.
smacking a bitch, Bob. Just gotta say it. You saw it in his eyes, right? I saw it in his eye. I saw it.
Wait, Barbarian.
He was about to smack a hoe.
Hey. I mean, listen. If zombies are trying to fucking remove you from the census,
Did you just get a Boston accent out of nowhere?
no,
You said feckin'.
huh?
All right. He's creating a barricade, Bob.
Outlaw Boxing is asking if they remade this in the 90s. Yeah,
Yes, they did.
They did remake it. This is the original.
Yes.
And for its time, like now watching this in 2025, like this is small potatoes. As I think UFO Cafe said earlier, this is on like primetime cable television.
What do you mean small potatoes? This is a classic.
I mean that it's...
You're
You're
damn
not listening.
classic, bro.
This is not something that is particularly shocking. However, for 1968, this was very shocking.
All right. Got to keep those meth heads out of this house. They have no idea that that's the undead, Bob. No idea.
I mean, I think it's starting to dawn on him that there is something unusual, considering he perforated that man's brain and he was still looking at him.
So what? You think that's the first time he's done that?
I mean, it might not be the first time he's perforated someone's brain, but it's definitely the first time they sat there making love eyes at him afterwards.
All right, let's hear this. Gotta hear the lines.
Won't be long for those things be back pounding their way in here. They're afraid now. They're afraid of fire. I found that out.
He found that out, Bob, by setting a man on fire. And why does he keep referring to them as they? What do you mean they?
He doesn't know their gender, okay? He isn't sure about their pronouns. He's just trying to be respectful.
So he doesn't think they're human.
Before he puts a tire iron through their forehead, you know, he wants to make sure that he doesn't misgender them.
Yes, yes.
Hey, Technique.
The radio in the truck. I jumped in to listen to it. when a big gasoline
She's
truck
folding the
came screaming
tablecloth.
right across the road. But there must have been 10, 15 of those things chasing after it, grabbing and holding on. Now, I didn't see them at first. I could just see that the truck was moving in a funny way. And those things were catching up to it. The truck went,
What do you mean funny? Like funny, ha ha ha?
slammed on my brakes to keep from hitting it myself. It went right through the guardrail. I guess the driver must have cut off the road into that gas station by Beekman's Diner. It went right through the billboard, ripped over a gas pump, and never stopped moving. By now, it's like a moving bonfire. Didn't know if the truck was going to explode or what. Could still hear the man screaming. This thing is just backing away from it. I looked back at the diner to see if there was anyone there who could help me. It was when I noticed that the entire place had been encircled. There wasn't a sign of life left except... By now there were no more screams. I realized that I was alone with 50 or 60 of those things, just standing there.
Why does he keep referring to them as things, Bob? Those are people, man. Those are people. What are you, racist?
Hey, Dark.
I started to drive. I just plowed right through them.
Whoa, Bob, this guy just killed a bunch of people.
They didn't run or
Kill streak.
stood there staring at me.
So what, bro? Just because they stand, he just wanted to crush them.
They
He just said he wanted to crush them.
through the air like bugs.
Look, it's just because they stare at him doesn't mean he has the right to run them over with his car.
Riding in the
This
cemetery.
guy literally just said he ran over a bunch of people.
Johnny and me. Johnny. We came to put a wreath on my father's grave. Johnny and he said, "Can I have some candy?"
I like her chipped front tooth.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't have any. And oh, it's hot in here. Hot.
He's like, oh, Jesus Christ, just fucking useless.
Again, you have to throw yourself at me?
Oh, it's late. Why did we start so late? And I said,
Why does she look like she has a wig over her hair?
if you'd gotten up early,
She might.
we wouldn't be late.
He's like, I don't care, lady.
And I said, I'm not afraid, Johnny. And then this man started walking up the road. He came slowly.
He has like an annoyed look in his eyes, like he's fluttering his eyes.
Coming to get you, Barbara. And I laughed at him and said, Johnny, stop it. And then Johnny ran away. And I went up to this man, and I was going to apologize.
Why don't you just keep calm?
And I looked up, and I said, good evening. And he grabbed me. He grabbed me.
Touched my butt!
Ripped at me. He held me, and he ripped at my clothes.
I think you should just calm down.
Why does he get to say his story, but you can't say hers?
Because he was so much less hysterical.
Oh, okay.
He ripped.
Whoa, she's gonna rip her clothes off?
And then Johnny came, and he ran, and he fought this man. And I got so afraid. I ran.
And I crashed the car and I abandoned Johnny.
And Johnny didn't come. We have to wait for Johnny.
He's like, I'm not even acknowledging that you're a person at this time. I'm busy.
Get him. We have to go out and get Johnny. He's out there. Please, don't you hear me? We've got to go out and get him. Please! We have got to go get Johnny!
Oh my God. I would have killed her. I would have killed her about 25 minutes ago.
Don't you know what's going on out there? This is no Sunday school picnic.
Don't you understand? My brother is alone!
Your brother is dead.
No! My brother is not dead! Oh.
Oh, whoa. Oh, man. Oh, he punched her, Bob. He punched her. Wow.
Good.
He hits just like
About
Israel.
fucking time.
Oh, man, she's knocked out. It's a delayed reaction.
He's like, oh, thank God, some peace and quiet. Now I can finish boarding up the goddamn house in peace.
That was pretty racist. I have to admit it. Oh, no, you're stripping her, Bob. How much money she got?
She said she was hot. So
She's hot. He wants to keep her cool.
yeah, Thunderdome, the guy in the cemetery was not her boyfriend or her husband, it was her brother, and they were going to put a wreath on their father's grave.
Yes.
The guy who says they're coming to get you, Barbara, was her brother.
Yes, her brother.
Citizens, and because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night. This station and hundreds of other radio and TV stations throughout this
We now conclude the Cash Money Millionaires Marathon.
emergency network hookup to keep you informed of all developments. At this hour, we repeat, these are the facts as we know them. There is an epidemic of mass murder being committed by a virtual army of unidentified assassins. The murders are taking place in villages, cities, rural homes, and suburbs with no apparent pattern or reason for the slayings. It seems to be a sudden, general explosion of mass homicide. Some description
Chicago?
of assassins. Witnesses say they are ordinary-looking people. Some say they appear to be in a kind.
This is a normal day in Chicago, Bob.
Describe them as being.
What's up, neighbor? They're all like nailing their windows shut.
Yep. Home Depot is constantly out of plywood.
Yes.
So, at this point, there is no really authentic way for us to say who or what to look for and guard yourself against. Misshapen monsters. Reaction of law enforcement officials is one of complete bewilderment at this hour. So far, we have
Complete bewilderment.
determined that any kind of organized investigation is yet underway.
He's setting a fire. It's cold in here. It's cold in here.
No, because they're afraid of fire.
Yes. He knows that because he thought he set a normal man on fire.
No, because he saw his truck catch fire and it scared them.
He's like, what if I set this man on fire?
Guard
That
Plot
might scare
twist.
them.
any moment, but that has not happened as yet.
I'll set this couch on fire.
Reporters have been able to get from official sources it's for private citizens to stay in their homes behind locked doors. Do not venture outside for any reason until the nature of this crisis has been determined and until we can advise what course of action to take. Keep listening to radio and TV for any special instructions as this crisis develops further. Thousands of office and factory workers are being urged to stay at their places of employment, not to make any attempt to get to their homes. However, in spite of this urging and warning, streets and highways are packed with frantic people trying to raise their families or apparently to flee just anywhere. We repeat, the safest course of action at this time is simply to stay where you
That's what
That is maybe not a great idea on a wooden porch.
chair. Why would they be so afraid of fire, Bob?
Ladies and gentlemen, we've just received
I don't know. I don't know what the lore is about fire.
And zombies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know zombies are afraid of fire like that.
the meeting is scheduled to convene within the hour. Members of the presidential cabinet will be joined by officials of the FBI and joint chiefs behind closed doors. The White House spokesman, in announcing this conference, says there will be an official announcement as soon as possible.
Iceman in the comments says, no time for a barbecue, brother. You're in danger.
Latest word also.
I love that she's just still out indefinitely. He's like, I'm going to have to punch her again when she wakes up. This is blissful.
He's like, I hit her a little too hard, I think.
Scientists from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. That's the extent of this latest bulletin. Repeating, the President, members of his cabinet, the FBI,
really doesn't need to be doing all that to the hinges. He could just take the pin out, and the door will come right
Maybe
off.
that door doesn't have a pin, Bob.
It does.
That could be it. Nope. You don't know. You've never been in that house.
Late reports reaching this newsroom tell of frightened people seeking refuge in churches, schools, and government buildings, demanding shelter and protection from the wholesale.
What the hell is going on?
Much of the nation. Law enforcement officials are at a loss.
I like that they gave enough thought to it that they painted a bruise onto her chin where he punched her.
Yes. I mean, he punched pretty hard.
Chief T.K. Dunmore of Camden, North Carolina, was quoted
He's exhausted.
Tell the people, for God's sake, to get off the streets. Tell them to go home and lock their doors and windows up tight. We don't know what kind of...
Cigarettes were like energy drinks back then, Bob. You were exhausted. You want to have a cigarette.
I mean, it is a stimulant.
The only clues
Yep.
of the killers come from frightened witnesses of some of the slayings. These variously describe the murderers as ordinary-looking...
What is it, Bob?
Quag said he's about to hit her with that hammer. She's waking up.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Some eyewitnesses tell of seeing victims who look as though they had been torn apart. This whole ghastly story began developing 2 days ago with the report of the slaying of a family of 7 in their rural home near...
I see a firearm.
Such senseless killings began snowballing.
Oh, nice.
Terror which has hopscotched in an erratic, disconnected manner.
Now I can shoot
It's a nice over-under.
Efforts to keep track of the murder
A lever action.
markers on a map seem to indicate a general spreading from the extreme southeastern United States to the north and west. Our newsmen have been on the telephone talking with officials in other cities and have determined that none of this kind of mass murder has yet been reported west of the Mississippi River, except in the extreme southeastern portion of Texas. Similar killings have been reported around the Houston and Galveston areas, but nothing like...
I found the gun and some bullets out there.
It was only late yesterday
Oh, and
that it
these.
first became clear we were facing some kind of national emergency. When first reports began filtering in, newsmen and law enforcement agencies were of the opinion
This
that
place is boarded up pretty solid now.
in nature. However, as these
We ought to be all right here
reports
for a while.
increased dramatically, it was soon apparent that
We have
this
the
was
gun
something
and
more than the
bullets.
usual run of lawlessness.
Food and the
Some
radio.
officials began to suspect an obscure kind of conspiracy.
Sooner or later, someone's
Things as
bound to come and get us out.
creatures from outer space. So again, we join with law enforcement agencies, urging you to seek shelter in a building. Lock the doors and windows securely.
Hey, that's us. We're doing all right.
Cautious of any suspicion.
She was just coming back to her senses, and then you knocked them right back out of her.
Further details
I'm sorry I had to hit you so hard, but you were acting crazy.
goes on in the absence of any law.
But I'm going upstairs now.
She has a massive concussion.
If anything should try to break in here, I can hear.
I'm sorry I had to knock you out, but you were loud.
Everything is all right for now. I'll be back to...
I like that he's like, you stay here. You let me know if the zombies get in.
Okay?
I'm going to go upstairs.
Okay.
Dateline on this report is Cumberland, Maryland. Civil defense officials in Cumberland
Continuity error. The shoes are gone.
show evidence of having
Here, take your shoes. He took her shoes back. Give me those shoes back.
Hey, Rusty.
Rusty is in the comments. We aren't just saying, hey, Rusty. We're, Bob's responding to the people in the comments, just so people know. That's quite the magic carpet ride.
Yep. He should probably throw that one out the window, just in case.
Yes.
The people who acted as though they were in a kind of trance were killing and eating their victims, prompted authorities to examine the bodies of some of the victims. Medical authorities in Cumberland have concluded that in all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murdered. Repeating this latest bulletin just received moments ago from Cumberland, Maryland, civil defense authorities have told newsmen that murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers. Medical examination of victims' bodies shows conclusively that the killers are eating the flesh of the people they kill. And
It's an epidemic of people eating each other.
more ghastly with each report. It's difficult to imagine such a thing actually happening, but these are the reports we have been receiving and passing on to you. Reports which have been verified as completely as is possible in this confused situation. It is happening, and it would appear that no one is safe from this wave of mass murder.
Evil white people, Bob.
Hold it! Don't shoot! We're from town. A radio.
County, Pennsylvania. The Butler County Sheriff has verified that reports of murder victims
I guess he didn't board the house up that well.
is true. No further details available at this time. However,
How long you guys been down there? I could use some help up here.
That's the cellar. It's the safest place.
You mean you didn't hear the racket we were making up here?
How are we supposed to know what was going on? Could have been those things for all we knew.
That girl was screaming. Sure, you must know what a girl screaming sounds like. Those things don't make any noise. Anybody would know somebody ever needed help.
Look, it's kind of hard to hear what's going on from down there.
We thought we could hear screams, but for all we knew, that could have meant those things were in the house afterward.
And you wouldn't come up and help?
Well, if there were more...
You guys are white and cowardice. I'm black and a hero. Don't you guys understand?
You just got finished saying you couldn't...
You guys are cowards.
Now you say it sounded like the place was being ripped apart. It would be nice if you get your story straight, man.
Oh.
Now you tell me. I'm not going to take that kind of a chance when we got a safe place. We luck into a safe place, and you're telling us we got to risk our lives just because somebody might need help, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
All right, why don't we settle this?
Mister, we came up. Okay, we're here. Now I suggest we all go back downstairs before any of those things find out we're in here.
They can't get in here.
You got the whole place boarded up?
Yeah, most of it. All but a few spots upstairs.
We're sorry, sir, but we're white and we're cowards.
The cellar's the safest
You
place.
see the messaging there, Bob?
Get in here.
And I'm
Bob.
telling you, those things turned over our car. We were damn lucky to get away at all. Now you tell me those things can't get through this lousy pile of wood?
His wife and kids downstairs. The kid's hurt.
Well, I still think we're better off up here.
We could strengthen everything up, Mr. Cooper.
With all of us working, we could fix this place up in no time. We have everything...
It's obviously has sort of a political message at times in this film. That's one of the only issues I think the film really had.
Yeah.
You can kind of see what they're kind of doing.
Well, yes.
Don't have any strength. I smashed 3 of them and pushed another one out the door.
Did you hear me when I told you they turned over our car?
Oh, hell, any good 5 men can do that.
That's my point. Only there's not going to be 5 or even 10. There's going to be 20, 30, maybe 100 of those things. And as soon as they know we're here, this place is going to be crawling with them.
Well, if there are that many, they'll probably get us wherever we are.
Look, the cellar. The cellar, there's only one door, right? Just one door, that's all we have to protect. Tom and I fixed it so it locks and boards from the inside. But up here, all these windows, why, we'd never know where they were going to hit us next.
You got a point, Mr. Cooper. But down in the cellar, there's no place to run to. I mean, if they did get in, there'd be no back exit. We'd be done for. We can get out of here if we have to. And we got windows to see what's going on outside. But down there with no windows, if a rescue party did come, we wouldn't even know it.
But the cellar is the strongest place.
The cellar is a death trap.
I don't know, Mr. Cooper. I think he's right. You know how many's out there?
I don't know. Maybe 6 or 7.
Look, you two can do whatever you like. I'm going back down to the cellar, and you better decide. Because I'm going to board up that door, and I'm not going to unlock it again no matter what happens.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Cooper.
No, I'm not going to wait.
I'm going to be a coward and lock myself in the basement.
Now, wait a minute. Let's think about this. We can make it to the cellar if we have to. And if we do decide to stay down there, we'll need some things from up here. So let's at least consider this a while.
What does that guy have in his hand? The older guy?
I think it's like a hockey stick or a club or something. I don't know.
Oh no, Bob, they're back.
Yeah, it looks like about 8 or 10 out there now.
There's more than there were. There are a lot out back, too.
Get off of me! You. Whoa. He's cutting their hands up, Bob. Look at that. His fingers are gone. Paper mache hands. Look kind of papery to me. I don't know.
They do.
Let me shoot. Ow!
It's like, hey,
That
that's
hurt.
not nice.
He gave him the Elvis look. You saw that? He gave him the sexy eyes. Shoot me again. I liked it. Whoa, it was better the second time. He's gonna give him those eyes again. I love you. Right in the head, Bob. That's how you kill him.
Yep.
But wait, when he stabbed him in the head with the crowbar, it didn't do anything. Look at that dude on
minor
that dude on the right is
triviality.
jacked. Whoa.
Naked lady.
Lady butt. That's a butt. Whoa, I can see her boobs, Bob.
And that was part of why this film was so controversial, because it had nudity. And that was also verboten.
Yeah. Bugs.
We gotta fix these boards.
You're crazy. Those things are going to be at every window and door in this place. We've got to get down into the cellar.
Go down in your damn cellar. Get out of here!
I'm taking the girl with me.
You leave her here. Keep your hands off her. And everything else that's up here, too. Because if I stay up here, I'm fighting for everything up here. And the radio and the food is part of what
That's my woman.
Now, if you're going down the cellar, get.
The man's insane. He's insane. We've got to have food down there. We've got a right.
This is your house.
We've got a right.
You going down there with him?
Well,
Yes or no? This is your last chance. No beating around the bush.
Listen, I got a kid down there. She can't possibly. I couldn't bring her up here. She can't possibly take all the racket and those things smashing through the windows.
Well, you're her father. If you're stupid enough to go die in that trap, that's your business. However, I am not stupid enough to follow you. It is tough for the kid that her old man is so stupid. Now, you get the hell down in the cellar. You can be the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
You bastards. You know, I won't open this door again. I mean it.
Mr. Cooper, with your help, we could...
With my help.
Let him go, man. His mind is made up. Just let him go.
Wait a minute. Judy, come on up here, honey.
You're gonna let them get hurt too, huh?
It's all right, honey. Go ahead.
He's keeping all the women for himself. He's trying to repopulate the earth.
That is definitely not a child.
That guy, Bob, that guy is 12. That's a 12-year-old.
Together, man. We can fix it up real good. There's lots of places we can run to up here. Mr. Cooper, we'd all be a lot better off if all three of us were working together.
Hey. Hey, kid.
He hit her really hard, Bob. She'll never be the same.
He's wrong, you know. I'm not boxing myself in down there.
She's pretty. Jean jacket, not chip tooth.
Well, we're safe now.
Oh, there is an actual child.
What about Tom and Judy?
They want to stay up there, let them. There are two other people upstairs, a man and a girl.
We heard the screaming.
Yeah, but I didn't know who they were, and I wasn't about to take any unnecessary chances.
Of course not, Harry.
Damn it, I'm out of cigarettes. You got a Lucy?
Is she all right?
Yeah, but the guy upstairs is Newports.
She feels warm.
Where's my cigarettes?
Shock.
Where'd you get the bandage?
Some laundry in a basket. I tore a sheet.
You know the dude upstairs does have cigarettes, right, Bob?
Mm-hmm. But he's made his stand. He can't back down now.
Nope.
Let them. Too many ways those monsters...
Quags is saying they should have put the other girl down there. Agree, they should have traded.
We'll see when they come back.
Yeah, for sure.
Down here.
Keep the strong up top.
What?
To be right, everybody else to be wrong.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that, woman?
Why we're being attacked?
Whatever it isn't just happening here. It's some kind of mass murder. It's going on everywhere. The radio said to stay inside.
Radio?
Radio upstairs. I heard a news bulletin.
There's a radio upstairs and you boarded us in down here?
I know what I'm doing.
What did it say?
Nothing. They don't know anything yet. There's mass murder everywhere, and people are supposed to look for a safe place to hide.
Take the boards off that door.
We are staying down here, Helen.
Harry, that radio is at least some kind of communication. If the authorities know what's happening, well, they'll send people for us to tell us what to do. How are we going to know what's going on if we...
I thought that radio goes both ways. I thought it only goes one way.
It does.
That radio's our only hope. We listen to it, and we can send out a communication. He's like, that's not how that works.
Quags, this was the late 60s. They still thought cigarettes were medicinal at this point.
There isn't going to solve anything. Those people aren't our enemies.
Technique, yeah, the acting is pretty good. They emphasize the tension, right? Because even though there's zombies, it is very much people against people.
If Judy would come downstairs for a few minutes, Harry and I could come upstairs.
Okay, yeah, right away.
The guy looks a little like Ben Shapiro, doesn't he? Come on, guys. Come on.
Do I have to?
Come on. Join me in the basement, guys. Come on.
Get done with them down there and us up here. Do this for me.
Okay.
Okay, open up.
They're trading. Here,
They're trading the wrong one.
Have this woman.
Send the defective one down.
Exactly. But that's not a good trade.
I'll take good care of her, Helen.
What's happening here?
Why don't you go upstairs now?
It's like a doll. She's reading Braille, Bob.
Her brother was killed.
Hey, give me a hand with this thing.
I gotta go help Ben with the television.
So basically, they traded the potentially useful one for a useless and a coward.
Yes.
Bad business.
There's nothing wrong with that.
The math ain't mathin', y'all.
She gonna smoke? I knew it. She stole his cigarettes, Bob.
This is also the time period where they were giving Quaaludes and amphetamine to housewives. So, yeah, it was an exciting time for everybody.
I'm Helen Cooper, Harry's wife.
What?
This place is ridiculous. Look at this. There's a million weak spots up here. Give me one of those.
What an asshole. Why don't you ask nicely? I don't care. I mean.
And they talk about these windows. I can't see a damn thing. There could be 15 million of those things out there. That's how much good these windows are.
I tell you what, put the blonde and that guy in the basement with the dead kid.
Yeah.
And then, just leave them there.
We need to open these windows to let air in.
Here I have it. Drag a couple of those chairs together.
There's a socket over here. You better watch this and try to understand what's going on. I don't want anyone's life on my hands.
Is there anything I can do?
I don't want to hear any more from you, mister. If you stay up here, you take orders from me. And that includes leaving the girl alone.
It's on.
There's no sound. Play with the rabbit ears.
Reports, incredible as they seem, are not the results of mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria. What do they think? We're imagining all this? Shut up!
In all parts of the
Why are they so rude to him, Bob?
Because he's annoying.
third of the nation.
Shut up!
Committed by creatures who feast upon the flesh of their victims. First eyewitness accounts of this grisly development came from people who were understandably frightened and almost incoherent. Officials and newsmen at first discounted those eyewitness descriptions as being beyond belief. However, the reports persisted. And medical examinations of some of the victims bore out the fact that they had been partially devoured. I think we have some late word just arriving, and I'll interrupt to bring this to you. This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. A widespread investigation of reports from funeral homes, morgues, and hospitals has concluded that the unburied dead are coming back to life and seeking human victims.
Not the buried dead?
Believe what we're reporting to you, but
Probably takes a little longer for them to unbury themselves.
Yes.
when this emergency first began, radio and television was advising people to stay inside, behind locked doors for safety. Well, that situation has now changed, and we're able to report a definite course of action for you. Civil defense machinery has been organized to provide rescue stations with food, shelter, medical treatment, and protection by armed National Guardsmen. Stay tuned to the broadcasting stations in your local area for this list of rescue stations. This list will be repeated throughout our news coverage. Look for the name of the rescue station nearest you and make your way to that location as soon as possible.
So we have that truck. If we can get some gas, we can get out of here.
There's a pump out by the shed.
I know, that's why I pulled in here, but it's locked.
Called this afternoon by the President. Since convening this conference of the Presidential Cabinet, the FBI, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the CIA has not produced any public information. Why are space experts being consulted about an earthbound emergency?
Flags in the comments is saying the way that guy is smoking, they're going to be out of cigarettes in 2 hours.
Yeah, he's nervous.
If they make it that long.
He's nervous. He's nervous.
Recall, started back to Earth, but never got here. That's the space vehicle which orbited Venus and then was purposely destroyed by NASA when scientists discovered it was carrying a mysterious high-level radiation with it. Could that radiation be somehow responsible for the wholesale murders we're now
Again with radiation?
Newsman.
It's the atomic age, man.
Every movie's got to be radiation, huh?
It's obvious our best move is to try to get out of here.
How are you going to get over to that pump? Look.
You're coming from a meeting regarding the explosion of the Venus probe, is that right?
Yes, that was the subject of the meeting.
You feel there is a connection between this and the phenomenon?
There's a definite connection.
Look, it's Mussolini.
In other words, you feel that the radiation on the Venus probe is enough to cause these mutations?
There was a very high degree of radiation.
Well, just a minute. I'm not sure that that's certain at all. I don't think that has been irrefutably
explanation that
proved.
we have at this time.
In other words, it is the military's viewpoint that the radiation is not the cause of the mutation.
I can't speak for the entire military at this time, gentlemen.
This seems to
I
be...
must disagree with these gentlemen presently until this is irrefutably proved.
everything is being done that can be done.
We'll have to hurry for our next meeting.
Professor, you feel that there is a definite connection between
definite connection as far as Dr. Keller and myself.
Doctor, please,
It's either radiation or aliens, Bob.
Was this
It's got to be one or the other.
Always. Those are the only options.
Enough to cause mutation under certain circumstances.
Could have happened.
Have a bearing on it.
It does seem to have a bearing.
Well, Iceman in the comments is saying, anybody else thinking about what they would do if caught in this situation? I actually spend a lot of time thinking about things like that.
Aliens?
No.
Running from aliens?
Perhaps there will be a report.
Radiated dead people?
Irradiated dead people. That's quite a description. Irradiated dead people.
Yes, I said.
Try to get out of here.
He said the rescue stations have doctors and medical supplies. If we could get Karen there, we could get help for her.
The total Karen. If only we could get Karen there. She'll talk us out of this one. She'll talk to their managers.
It's only about 17 miles from here.
You know this area. You from around here?
Judy and I are both from around here. We were on our way up to the lake to go swimming, and Judy had a radio, and we heard the first reports about this. So we knew the old house was here, and we came in and found the lady upstairs dead. Then these other people came. We went down into the basement and put a bar across the door, and it is pretty strong.
How could we possibly get away from here? We've got a sick child, 2 women, 1 woman out of her head, 3 men, and the place is surrounded with these things.
For NASA. Dr. Grimes, your entire staff, I know, has been working very hard to find some solution to these things that are happening. Do you have any answers at this time?
Yes, we have some answers. But first, let me stress the importance of seeking medical attention for anyone who's been injured in any way. We don't know yet what complications might result from such injuries.
How bad has your kid been hurt?
Good advice, Doctor. Now, how about the basic problem of patients? Well,
Look, you go down there and tell... Isn't it Judy? Yeah, you tell Judy to come up here and you stay with the kid, all right?
Action taken with regard to the Venus probe. In the cold room at the university, we had a cadaver. A cadaver from...
Quags is saying in the comments that he thinks that his shotgun will handle any zombies. He's not concerned about those. What about giant crab monsters?
But it opened his eyes and tried to move.
Or giant eyeball clouds.
Did she ask for me?
She hasn't seen anything.
I don't understand. Baby. It's Mommy.
I heard. I'll come back down as soon as I find out what they want.
Thank you, Judy.
The body should be disposed of at once, preferably by cremation.
well, how long after death, then, does the body become reactivated?
It's only a matter of minutes.
Minutes? Well, that doesn't give people time to make any arrangements.
Oh, you're right. It doesn't give them time to make funeral arrangements. The bodies must be carried to the street and burned. They must be burned immediately. Soak them with gasoline and burn them. The bereaved will have to forego the dubious comforts that a funeral service will give. They're just dead flesh and dangerous.
I see.
Judy, I need you to find some bedspreads or sheets to tear up into small strips, okay? Is there a fruit cellar here?
Yes.
We need some bottles or jars to make Molotov cocktails and hold them off while we try to escape.
Hey, there's a big can of kerosene down there.
I'll see what I can find.
I'll look for the bottles.
There's a big key ring down there. There may be a key to the gas pump on it.
I'll check.
We can toss the cocktails from a window upstairs. Meantime, a couple of us can go out and try to get the gas and come back for the rest of the people.
But that'll leave a door open someplace.
Yeah, that's right. It better be this door. It's closer to the truck. Before we go out, we'll put some supplies behind the cellar door. While we're gone, the rest of you can hold up in there.
I found some fruit jars in the cellar. And there's a key on here that's labeled for the gas pump out back.
I'm not really that used to the truck. I found it abandoned.
I can handle the truck. No.
Iceman correct. A crab monster that can read your mind.
You're it, then. You and I'll go. We'll put whatever lumber we find behind the cellar door. You can go upstairs and toss the cocktails from a window. Tom, you and I will have to unboard this door. After you toss the cocktails, you hustle back down here and lock this door. It's no good to board it up because we'll have to get back in quickly. After we get the gas and get back into the house, then we'll worry about getting everybody into the truck. Now let's move it.
No place to flee for safety, except to the rescue stations which have been set up. Indications are that before this emergency is over, we will need many, many more such rescue stations.
You always have a smile for me. How can you smile like that all the time? How many do you have done? Come on, honey, we gotta move.
Tom, are you sure about the phone?
The phone is dead out. All you get is a recorded message.
If I could only call the folks. They're going to be so worried about us.
Everything will be all right. As soon as we get to Willard, we'll call them. They might even be there.
I know. Tom, are you sure we're doing the right thing, Tom?
What, about getting out of here?
Yeah.
Well, the television said that's the right thing to do. We've got to get to a rescue station.
I don't know.
Come on, honey, you're starting to sound like Mr. Cooper now.
Why do you have to go out there?
Look, I know how to handle that truck, and I can handle the pump. Ben doesn't know anything about that stuff.
But we're safe in here.
For how long, honey? We're safe now. But there's going to be more and more of those things.
I know all that.
Hey, listen. Remember when we had the big flood? Remember how difficult it was for us to convince you that it was right to leave? Remember? Remember we had to go to Willard then? This isn't a passing thing, honey. It's not like just a wind passing through. We've got to do something, and fast.
I just don't want you to go out there, that's all.
Hey, Smiley. Where's that big smile for me? Boy, you're sure no use at all, are you? We've got work to do, honey. And you...
We better get her downstairs.
We have to go downstairs now, Barbara.
She's right. You have to go downstairs now, just for a little while, until we get back. Then we can all leave.
Oh, I'd like to leave. Yes.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You ready upstairs? Yeah. Okay, toss them.
I'm going with them.
Get back in the cellar.
I'm going.
It's too late. It's too late.
Well, is it coming? Come on. Get in.
Didn't I hear that report where you shoot him in the head or whatever? Didn't they say that in the report?
They might have. They were definitely talking about burning them.
Oh, yeah, yes. Burning
That was
them.
mostly the thing. You have to burn them immediately.
There goes. He's burning them. I just bought this jacket. What the hell's going out there? I'm in here being a coward. lot of different stuff happening with the time of day, huh? Interesting
Yeah,
stuff.
it's all different times of day.
Nighttime, daytime, nighttime. Yeah. 1 second it's like noon, and then a second later it's like the day, and then it's night.
Uh-oh.
I'll cover the car in gas. Why?
You fucked up.
You effed up, huh?
Hang on! Tom! Drive your cars and get out of the truck! Let's get out of here! Come on, come on!
My jacket's caught.
Oh no. You idiots. What an idiot.
Yep.
Well, that dude is jacked. Jacked.
Well, I guess they don't have to worry about burning them.
He's not a very good shot, is he? That guy's got his shirt on backwards. Fire bad. It reminds me of Frankenstein, right?
Yes.
It's like that
That's
whole
honestly probably where that trope came from, because Frankenstein was susceptible to fire.
Yes, that's what it seems like. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't kind of like lay out why are they afraid of fire. You know, in no other zombie film they really have like a fear of fire. And I think in the newer film, even the remake of this, I think that one of the zombies walked around on fire.
Yes.
I could be wrong, but I know that one of these films there was a zombie on fire. He's not very good at hammering,
No.
is he? He missed that damn nail like 4 times.
And you can see they had to reshoot the scene several times because you see all the like hammer strikes on the door.
Why am I helping you? I hate you, you son of a... What did he do wrong, Bob? What did he do wrong?
He didn't help him in. He didn't open the door. Ben had to kick the door down.
Yeah.
And even though, yeah, he like decided to help after the fact, like he would have happily let Ben die on the porch.
The guy should say, I'm not a woman, you can't knock me out. He helped him, Bob. He did help eventually.
Yeah, but he is a coward and he will ultimately sacrifice anyone and everyone to protect himself.
He looks almost identical to Ben Shapiro, just gotta say it. It's like, come on, guys, come on. He's just bald. He's like a bald Ben Shapiro. But I have a feeling Ben Shapiro might be bald, Bob. Doesn't it look like he's wearing a toupee? Am I wrong?
It does a bit.
It does. It looks like fake hair. Oh, they're eating him. They're eating him, and then they're gonna eat her.
No.
No, well, they're already eating both of them.
Yeah.
It's barbecue.
Well done.
It's like a zombie barbecue. There's some intestines.
That person is really excited about them. Up, some liver.
Delicious. That's the ribs.
Is that a rib?
No. It's like, some well-cooked.
That's an arm. That's a forearm.
Oh, that's a human hand. He's like, damn, if I was a zombie, I'd eat that too.
Isn't it 3 o'clock yet? There's supposed to be another broadcast at 3 o'clock.
10 minutes.
Oh, only 10 more minutes? We don't have very long to wait. We can leave. Oh, we better leave soon. It's 10 minutes to 3.
Cartoons will be on soon.
You know anything about this area at all? I mean, is Willard the nearest town?
I don't know. We were
You got a straight up butthead hair, Bob.
She does.
motel before dark.
You said those things turned your car over. You think we can get it back on its wheels and drive it? Where is it?
Seems like it was pretty far away. Seems like we ran.
Forget it. It's at least a mile.
Johnny has the keys.
You gonna carry that child a mile through that army of things out there?
I can carry the kid. What's wrong with her? How'd she get hurt?
One of those things grabbed her.
Bit her on the arm.
What's wrong?
Who knows what kind of disease those things carry? Is she conscious?
Barely.
She can't walk. She's too weak.
Well, one of us could try to get to the car.
You gonna turn it over by yourself?
You can't start the car. Johnny has the keys.
Oh, God.
Johnny has the key, Bob.
The wrong one got blown up.
Where? Where is it?
You won't be able to start it.
Yeah, I know. But where is it?
Oh, Bob, there's juggling happening outside. Man is trying to make an inflatable dog.
Good Lord.
Good Lord. He's made a poodle.
They've got little to-go meals.
Delicious.
It's like
Being monitored
pre-Happy Meals.
scientists at all the radiation detection stations. At this hour, they report the level of the mysterious radiation continues to increase steadily. So long as this situation remains,
Giant crabs are now attacking.
dead bodies will continue to be transferred.
The irradiated dead people have begun to transform into telepathic crabs.
Will come back to life to seek human victims unless their bodies are first disposed of by cremation. Our news cameras have just returned from covering such a search and destroy operation against the ghouls, this one conducted by Sheriff Conan McClellan in Butler County, Pennsylvania. So now let's go to that film report. All law enforcement agencies and the military have been organized to search out and destroy the marauding ghouls. The Survival Command Center at the Pentagon has disclosed that a ghoul can be killed by a shot in the head or a heavy blow to the skull. Officials are quoted as explaining that since the brain of a ghoul has been activated by the radiation, the plan is kill the brain and you kill the ghoul.
Want anything from the supply wagon, Gus?
No, we're all right. Hey, Cass, put that thing all the way in the fire. We don't want it getting up again. All right, I got you.
Chief McClellan, how's everything going?
Oh, things aren't going too bad. Men are taking it pretty good. You want to get on the other side of the road over there?
Chief, do you think we'll be able to defeat these things?
Well, we killed 19 of them today right in this area. Those last 3 we caught trying to claw their way into an abandoned shed. They must have thought somebody was in there. There wasn't, though. We heard them making all kind of noise. We came over and beat them off, blasted them down. Chief, as soon as you're finished, can I see you here? Yeah, okay.
Chief, if I were surrounded by 6 or 8 of these things, would I stand a chance with them?
Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot them in the head. That's a sure way to kill them. If you don't, get yourself a club or a torch. Beat them or burn them. They go up pretty easy.
Well, Chief McClellan, how long do you think it will take you until you get the situation under control?
Well, that's pretty hard to say. We don't know how many of them there are. We know when we find them, we can kill them.
Are they slow-moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
Well, in time, would you say you ought to be able to wrap this up in 24 hours?
Well, we don't really know. We know we'll be into it most of the night, probably into the early morning. We're working our way toward Willard, and we'll team up with the National Guard over there, and then we'll be able to give a more definite view.
Thank you very much, Chief McClellan. This is Bill Cardill, WIC TV 11 News.
Thank you, Bill, for that report.
I don't know, man. It's a lot of brains to shoot.
Just how long it may take to
That's what you should have said, right?
Yeah. He's like so casual. He's like, oh, we'll be into it into the night.
We'll be done killing all these guys by tomorrow. I don't know, man. We're going to have to work extra hard.
I don't know. It isn't the fuse. The power lines are down.
Helen, I have to get that gun.
Haven't you had enough?
Look, 2 people are dead already on account of that guy. Take a look out that window.
Helen, this lighting got really moody. I'm creeped out. Bob, they've discovered rocks and clubs. My
Zombies with tools.
God. Oh no, they're learning.
Yeah, Quags the comments is saying it's a decent movie. This was a genre-defining movie.
Yes.
If you look at this film, you can see the fingerprints of essentially every zombie movie that came after it, up to...
You could also see the elements from I Am Legend, for sure.
Yeah.
Or the, yes, you could definitely see that in the film.
But also being unafraid to be disgusting, to be horrifying, the body horror of it all. Like, these were not concepts that were investigated and explored as much previously.
Go ahead. You want to stay up here now? Helen, get the cellar. Get the cellar now. Move!
Why, yada. All the women are leaving him, Bob. Leaving him for this other guy. He's better looking, I guess, huh? Is that what it's supposed to be?
Well, he's not a coward.
Oh, he shot him.
Is the issue.
Hello, lady.
But it was a bit
really?
Shocking to see the black guy being the protagonist over,
Yeah, I don't know if that was really. I mean, they had a lot of movies where they had like black people as stars, didn't they?
Yes, but in this particular film, the black guy is the morally superior character.
Yeah.
He is the brave guy. He is the hero.
Yeah, he's very exact. It's very over the top. He's just like, he's better in every single way.
Yes.
And then the evil white guy is like, he's a coward.
One of the
selfish.
white guys is a chicken shit. One of the white guys is a coward, selfish piece of crap.
Yeah.
All
the other guys are all getting killed. He's like the most capable person in the whole house. That's the guy that killed her brother.
Yep, he's back.
You killed my brother. Look, she's strong now. Oh no. She ate his arm, Bob.
Oh, baby. Baby.
And Pet Sematary definitely took inspiration from this particular scene.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell the inspiration from like films like Psycho,
Yeah.
Except it's a little more graphic as you see the shadow, right?
Yes. And it's a child.
And you see the shadow stabbing down. And it's a child, which is more shocking.
Yeah. You don't really see a child like a zombie, an undead child murderer.
Yeah.
Again until Pet Cemetery, I think, which came out in the
there's
70s.
Probably some other films, but this
Not like
has got to
this.
be one of the first ones.
That little boy with the scalpel, that was even still kind of controversial
look,
for
to
its
depict
age.
to depict
There's
the child
Johnny.
like that. There's her brother. Johnny, you're emo! Get off of me, girl! They got her, Bob.
And now it's just him.
That was my other girlfriend!
The one blew up. I don't have any others. I don't have any spares.
Oh no, there she is. Oh. Get off of me! You should throw her out the window. Guy was getting up, he was gonna say, I told you so. We should have been in the basement. He's like, shut up. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Are you also gonna remind me?
Where is the light coming from?
I don't know. They need to get light from somewhere, Bob. I guess it's supposed to be like moonlight, but it doesn't make any sense in the basement.
Yeah, like the power's out. Wags in the comments is asking if the zombies make breakfast now. And Iceman has an excellent comment that after all of Ben's fighting, he wound up in the basement anyway.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was commenting on. I put it on the screen. They're going to make some zombie dogs, Bob.
Yeah.
You want to get about 4 or 5 men and a couple dogs? There's a house over here behind those trees. We want to go check it out.
Frank,
You stay here, Bill.
Yeah, Chief, we're going to stay with it till we meet up with the National Guard.
Where'd you get the coffee?
One of the volunteers. You're doing all the work. You take it.
Thank you. We should be wrapped up here about 3 or 4 more hours. We'll probably get into Willard then. I guess you can go over there and meet the National Guard. Nick, you and the rest of these men want to come with me?
Well, Bill, I'm check in the office, see what's happening. All right, Steve. Tell them we're going to stay with it, and everything appears to be under control.
He's like, I'm just too badass for my own good.
They need you down there by the barn. Some of these guys can follow the wagon down. I only need a few men to check out the house. Somebody had a cookout here, Vince.
Yeah, sure looks like it, Cop.
Damn. Cold.
Yep. Maybe they thought it actually was a barbecue.
Okay, come over. Group of police and the other cops.
He's the dead one. Get up here. Nick, Tony, Steve, you want to get out in that field and build me a bonfire? You, drag that out of here and throw it on the fire.
Nothing down here.
All right, go ahead down and give him a hand. Let's go check out the house, man.
There's something there. I heard a noise.
All right, Vince, hit him in the head, right between the eyes. Good shot. Okay, he's dead. Let's go get him. That's another one for the fire.
Send the wagon through directly out. Over.
Keep those dogs back off of those things.
Okay, so that's Night of the Living Dead, people. Give me 1 second. Dragging him out, Bob.
Yep. How's that for a plot twist, guys?
Pretty dark ending, right? Oh, they shoot that dude. He's like, I made it! Shoot him between the eyes. That's effed up. All right, Bob, that is the end of Night of the Living Dead, George Romero's classic zombie film.
Yeah.
His first film. What'd you think of it?
I mean, it's a classic for a reason. It's a
Yes.
deeply uncomfortable movie. It is uncomfortable beginning to end. And it makes you confront a lot of issues with body horror, with betrayal,
Yes.
with, you know, it doesn't tie things up in a nice, neat bow at the end.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it's supposed to have some like political message. What do you think it is?
I mean,
did you get anything of that from it? I got some little, I assumed a couple of things, but from that ending there, I mean, what did you think of that?
the ending, it's supposed to leave you feeling very unsettled and upset, right? You get emotionally attached to this character, and even though he's imperfect, right, you have this sense of like, oh, he made it. After everything that he went through, he made it. He made it to the end. The good, strong, capable guy. And then they take it all away from you.
In the remake, he actually was infected.
Yes.
In the remake. He comes out and he's a zombie. I think actually the coward survives in the remake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Ben dies.
I think in the remake, he is infected and then they shoot him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think actually the girl shoots him.
The girl shoots him in like he's in a cell or something. And he
in
wakes
the remake,
up.
the girl, the one who's all, gone insane.
Yeah.
The one who's basically through almost the whole movie, she's a mute. She actually is the hero in the remake.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I think she's actually the only one that I think survives. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I think she survives.
I think she does too.
I could be wrong, but
we saw that movie. Oh gosh, most recently, because I think we've both probably seen it more than once.
Which one?
The remake.
Oh, I've seen the remake so many times. I actually really enjoyed it as a kid. I thought it was really good. I think it's still a good movie. It's a very good remake. I forgot who made it. I don't know if it was Romero that made it.
I think it was.
I would have to go look that up.
But in the context of the political thing, I think that the biggest message is this like presentation of the very dark-skinned, very, very, very obviously black guy as the hero, as the superior.
Well, he's the leading man
character,
Sorry about that.
And I think that was kind of George Romero thumbing his nose at social.
I mean, there was a lot of that at the
supposition.
time, right? There was the majority of the country was freaking white, right? So obviously they're gonna have white leading men in order to sell the movie. People will turn it into some weird race thing.
I honestly just think that like the bigger message is, and what the bigger message should have been, is that in a situation where the chips are down, it doesn't matter if you're black, if you're white, if you're male, if you're female.
Yes.
Like, it is an all hands on deck situation, and everybody must contribute or nobody will survive. Because even though Ben made it through the night because he was not collaborating and not like he was trying to work as part of a team, but he didn't have anybody else participating in his team. Arguably because he was maybe not the best or most proactive, positive leader. He wound up still getting killed. Like, if there had been more of them that made it, if he had signaled like, hey, I'm in here, he would have come through it. But because they were all kind of out for themselves, it all fell apart.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably some other meaning people can get from that, but I just thought they just killed him just like everyone else. Somebody, maybe Romero's idea was some kind of race stuff, possibly.
It could be, but I think that if that was truly something that he was intending to do, it was so muddied by everything else, because realistically, they couldn't see him. All they could see was a shadow moving around, and because he wasn't identifying himself or saying anything, they assumed he was one of the zombies.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what makes sense to me, but maybe some other people, watch the film might get something else from it. All right, people, just so you know, the number you see on the screen is the number, so that if you guys want to get in on the trivia, just call that number.
And then we can hear your beautiful, sweet voices.
We have the trivia ready for trivia. Food trivia, people.
Quags is in the comments saying that it's come full circle if she is the survivor in the remake, because she was worthless in this one.
She really was. But I do appreciate, we're going to be reviewing this after we do the trivia. I appreciate that we had a mute. You never really see that in these films. Somebody who's just crippled by fear, right? And trauma. I mean, her brother had just been killed right in front of her, right?
And realistically, her reaction, her response, that's called a fawn response, actually. And her reaction is very real. So many people in like highly traumatic situations go mute. You see this in police officers who have been in a firefight. You see this in veterans who have seen combat. When you are exposed to something that is so traumatic, your brain, it's actually called the endocannabinoid process, and that is because it does mimic the role of cannabis in the brain. It literally turns off your brain's ability to create short-term memories.
Yeah.
And makes you feel very, very calm and very, very sleepy. So it is a way of insulating your psyche, yourself from the trauma that you are experiencing. And that's why so many people, when they go through a traumatic event, will have a distorted memory of that event. It's because their brain is trying to protect itself.
Yes. All right, people. Anybody want to do trivia? We got trivia questions. Just 3 questions.
Iceman in the comments is saying why wouldn't he yell out that he's human? It was, probably fear, but also this sense of mistrust and unwillingness to work together as part of like a collaborative human team. And I think that there was probably bitterness, there's anger, and in a situation like that, in a survival situation, you can't be out for you. You've got to be working as a team, because you are always going to be more effective in a team than you are as an individual.
Yes. Obviously, yes, for sure. That's why everything was falling apart, because that guy, you had basically 2 chefs in the kitchen, right?
Yep.
But they were of 2 different mindsets. The star, what was his name, Bob?
Ben?
Yeah, Ben, the black dude.
Yeah, Ben.
Yeah, he was more of like, he was more of like a strong masculine type. The other guy who was basically like the lord of the underground in a way, right? He was like, it literally fit him, right? He was the guy that was cowardice who lived in the basement, basically. Yeah. He stayed in the basement, where Ben stayed up top, and he was covering all his bases, right?
He was trying, yeah.
And he was the reason why they survived, because they didn't get flooded till towards the very end of the night.
When they tried to make a break for it, if they had actually like buckled down and stayed and defended the house, they probably would have all survived. But that sense of fear, that infectious panic.
He was alpha.
He was trying to be the alpha for sure, and he was probably more capable of being the alpha, but Mr. Cooper was dividing loyalties. And rather than sitting in his integrity and saying like, you know what? Okay, what's your plan? Yeah. He was competing, but on the flip side, it was Ben's idea to try to get gas in the truck and try to like make this break for it, which ultimately led to their undoing. Because they opened the door and went outside, they had actually drew more attention to the farmhouse. Yes. If they had stayed in there and stayed quiet with all the lights off, the zombies would probably have just walked by.
Yes.
But again, you need to introduce that element of force into a story like this. Because realistically, if you allow characters to behave, or allow all the characters to behave as they normally would, you would not have a story. They would remove themselves from the situation entirely.
But it is interesting when you see it that way. You could see that if they would have chose the right people, this situation might have turned out differently.
Yes.
Right?
Definitely.
Like the guy in the basement, even though he's cowardice, he was sort of a capable guy, right?
Yeah.
He showed when he came in and helped that they worked well together, and then it all fell apart again. Both guys were clashing with each other from the very beginning. They just had a disagreement. The one guy in the bottom was saying, we should stay down here. And then the other guy's like, no, we should stay up top. So they had that disagreement. Like you're saying, they don't want to, there's no compromise. It's just either you do what I say or go back where you were.
Yep.
That's pretty much the way the guy laid it out.
Now, realistically.
And since they have very dominant personality types, they clashed, right? They both were they were posturing for position. Who's going to be the dominant?
They were more focused on being the boss than in actually succeeding in the goal. And
everybody died. Every
died.
Single one of them. So maybe that is a takeaway you could take from this film, that maybe, you just got to all work together, right?
Yep. And that's like an important thing. So when you're in a crisis situation, particularly a dangerous crisis situation, it's not about who is the boss. It really if you have an established chain of command, follow it. But if you don't, then you need to be able and willing to adapt to the situation at hand and who is best able to execute a task in that moment.
Yes.
And it doesn't fucking matter. Like, who is the boss, who is not the boss, what they're like, that none of those things matter at that time.
Tony Danza, huh, Bob? You ever seen that show, Who's the Boss?
Yes. But in a true emergency, in a true crisis, unless you are part of like a military unit and you happen to be experiencing this crisis with your unit, you know, it's not about I'm the boss, you're the boss.
Okay.
That's gonna you're gonna die. Like, you're gonna spend more time bullshitting about who is in charge for no purpose at all.
Yes. It's true. I mean, it's true what you're saying. That is a takeaway. That's what's great about films like this, is that you really could see it in all kinds of many different perspectives you can get from one film, which is one of the things that makes this film a classic.
Yep.
Along with many other things. In 1 second, we've just put on the 10-minute timer. I'm going to bring it down. You guys got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Get in on the trivia. Hey, Quags, get in here. Answer the question. As Van Damme would once say.
Iceman, you're also welcome to call.
Yeah, you guys just call the number. Get in on the trivia. We do give out prizes. We do.
Ask Never Sobers. He has received them.
Is he here?
He was here for a minute.
Where
I
the
think.
F is Never Sobers?
Never Sobers likes to swoop in, leave an emoji, and like
call the number.
Lurk.
Do the trivia. Bob, if no one comes in here, you're gonna have to do it.
Does that mean I get a prize if I win?
What is Quag saying in the comments? He's saying something there, Bob.
Quags is saying that that's exactly why there's delineation and process in the military. Correct. And that's the thing. If you have an established chain of command and you are used to functioning within that chain of command, then obey that chain of command in an emergency setting. If, however, you're with a bunch of randoms that you don't know and have never seen before, then don't try to posture. Because it's going to get everybody killed.
If anybody wants to watch Night of the Living Dead, the remake, it actually is on YouTube in its entirety. It's free. Want to watch it? We cannot show it on here. It's a copyrighted film. I mean, we might be able to do it. I'll have to look into the legality of that. But we're going to be watching the trailer for the remake. They actually have a colorized version of this film on YouTube.
Yeah, but I don't like the colorized versions because they always look
It's not the artist's original vision. That's the problem. That's one of the biggest problems, I think.
Because color films already were quite prevalent in the 60s.
I actually, in a lot of ways, I prefer black and white films. Like, I have no problem with watching a more modern film in black and white. Like, I watched Sin City. It's one of my favorite films.
Black and white films are excellent.
Yes. Black and white just looks great. It's not as distracting, I feel like, as these colorized films. I mean, it's like when I watch like the new Twilight Zone, like the 80s, at least actually the best version of Twilight Zone is obviously the original in my book. The 80s remake was actually also really good. But one of my big problems is it's in color. It just doesn't feel the same, you know? All right. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right in color. I think it's Night of the Living Dead 1990, because I think it came out in 1990.
And it's set in a mall.
No, it's not set in a mall.
Which one is
it's
set in a
in
mall?
the house. When the mall you're talking about, I think you're talking about the I forget which one. That might be Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead is in the mall.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen Dawn of the Dead. I've seen the remake, but I don't think I've actually seen the I've never seen the original in its entirety. I might have. But I feel like this is a better film. That's the thing. I love Day of the Dead. If you guys ever seen the George Romero film Day of the Dead, it's amazing. That's one of my favorite zombie
UFO,
films.
we don't feed trolls on this channel, and if you don't behave yourself, I will remove you.
Okay, we're going to be watching the trailer for the remake of Night of the Living Dead, okay?
Iceman in the comments is saying that we're living in the Twilight Zone, but Quags is saying that the phone number doesn't work.
It doesn't. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. We're going to watch this trailer and I'll tell you. It was working yesterday. I tested it out today. Give me 1 second. I'll test it in a minute after we watch this trailer.
They came to pay their respects.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Why do you have to be so cruel?
What?
Show some respect.
Now, They're running for their lives.
A biologist in Stockton, California have released reports focusing on the phenomenon, specifically on that trance-like state.
Every shelter.
Trans-like state got a whole different meaning nowadays, Bob.
Trans, not trans.
I thought it's a trans-like state.
Every road out.
Don't stop no matter what happens.
Is just another dead end.
They're coming right for us.
It's almost like the Halloween theme.
Yeah.
George Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, they got themselves a ginger in there.
Gingers have no soul.
Yes. It was actually directed by Tom Savini. Interesting. I didn't even know he directed films. Isn't that interesting? Screenplay by George A. Romero. So I guess he, I don't know if he rewrote the script because the remake is actually different from the original. It's different in some ways.
Fu, is the actor who plays Ben in the remake the same actor from Candyman?
Yes. Yes.
Good eye, Dark.
Yes, it
Dark
is.
in the comments asked if that was.
Yes, he was actually really good in that film.
He's a good actor in general.
He passed away recently.
Did he?
Yes.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. You know, actually, he's in the new Indiana Jones video game.
Really?
I think he plays the lead baddie in there.
He's a talented actor.
He was a very good actor. I think we actually saw him one time. We went to a horror convention. Remember, Bob?
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
The guy from
the grave in the pit.
1 second. The guy from Clockwork Orange was there.
Mhm.
Andy McDowell, I think.
Andy McDowell.
I took a picture with him.
I know.
Actually, and the lead singer of Skinny Puppy. And some other people. I met that lady from Stepfather.
Yes.
Is that what it's called? Stepfather, the murderous dad?
I think so.
Yeah, I was hanging out with that lady, the one with the weird, creepy eyes. She's actually really nice. She liked me and my friends because we weren't like starstruck. Like a lot of people were acting really creepy.
Yeah, conventions are weird.
Dudes they treat these celebrities, some of them, like they're like not even human.
Yeah,
Like
they're
the way they
like
come up to them.
the hero worship thing is a little awkward.
Okay. I'm gonna call this number. Try to call it again if anybody missed out. Try to call it one more time. I think the number works. I'm pretty sure it works.
It is a Google Voice number.
Bob, you want to try to call that number real quick?
So Quags, when you call the number, you will hear a female voice say that they're going to connect you.
I have to pick it up.
Like that is because it's a Google Voice number. I mean, we're not out here reckless putting our like cell phone number.
We're putting the number up again. It is 607-713-8094. That is the phone number. Call it. Do the trivia. We're waiting.
I'm checking it now.
Okay, who's checking? Are you?
I am checking.
Okay, great. Hopefully this shit works. I set it up yesterday. I don't know why it wouldn't work. Your browser might prevent calls from ringing. Change your browser settings to allow voice. Google.com to play sound. Okay. Okay, so it is calling. All right, speak, Bob.
Call from.
Oh, I just hung up.
Why would you hang up?
I hung up
All right,
because it
try
connected.
to call it again, please.
Okay.
All right, we're testing our phone number. Here we go. You've just been watching Night of the Living Dead on The Real Food TV, the greatest channel on demand, people. It really is. This was a talkie, I guess. Talkie version. Okay. Did you call?
Yes.
Call it again, please.
I am.
Oh, okay. I am now picking it up. Can you please talk?
Hello?
Call from. Beep.
All right. I picked it
To
up.
accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
I have to hit 1?
I guess.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Potato.
Is that you, Bob?
Do you know?
Do you know the Muffin Man? That's unkind.
Sorry about that. Okay, hang up. People. The phone works, right? Call it. Trivia time. We're waiting for the trivia, and then after that, we're going to review this movie.
Thunderdome is asking what the trivia question is.
There's a couple of them. You got to get in. We don't want to put the questions in there before people get in.
Can't cheat.
The phone number is on the screen, and then you guys get in on this trivia. You can call the number, Thunderdome.
UFO, I understand that you have some sort of love affair.
Answer the
and
question. Yo,
obsession
UFO.
with Iceman, but really, please keep your flirting to a minimum.
That is kind of weird. That is kind of effing weird. This is a little beta. Sorry. All right, we are waiting. All right, UFO, no, you're not. Ice, you adore me. All right, there's some kind of thing going on in the chat. We're waiting for people to get in here.
I think UFO Cafe is professing his undying love for Iceman.
No way. All right. Come on, people. Okay, should I put the timer one last time and then?
Sure.
Okay, we're gonna put the timer one more time. We're gonna cut it down. I guess we're gonna have to review it, but I'm waiting for a phone call because I have to press 1. So it'd be good for people to just call in right away.
Well,
okay, let me pick up. Hello?
Call from
Quags. Oh, you got Quags on there. All right, hello.
All right, we did it.
All right, who is this?
Hi, Quags.
Hello?
All right, what do you mean?
Can you hear me?
Maybe.
All right, Bob, don't play that because it'll duplicate. All right.
Sorry, relax.
Are you there?
Yes.
All right,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Where are you located? And what are you wearing?
I am okay. Which one do you want first?
I don't know. You pick.
Oh my goodness.
All right, are you still there?
Behave, children. Let's
I'm
go.
here.
Okay, you're here. Are you a deity?
You're in California, right, Quags?
I am.
Okay. Why is this so damn low? Can I make this louder,
Ooh,
Bob?
stop obsessing. Just
All right,
ask
hopefully
the
you can hear
goddamn
the
question.
questions. Okay, we're going to turn the
Jesus
music
Christ.
off right now. We got to go into we're going to go into the trivia. 1 second, please. Okay, Bob, are you ready? Quags, are you ready?
Yeah.
You're going into trivia land. Food TV style.
Oh my goodness.
Calm
the
down.
preamble.
Hopefully this shit works.
The
Okay.
preamble.
Okay.
Julio Marquez. You know what I'm saying?
Dramatic
Ripper might be
music.
dead, but Julio Marquez is still alive and he's just living his life. So
Okay,
that's all I'll say.
here we go,
RP
Bob.
Rapid.
I see. All right.
Questions are coming up.
The other thing.
1 second, I got to
okay,
find
so
all
so
my
yeah, so
crap.
this
Oh
video
my
here
goodness.
Calm down. I got to find my charts.
Luis de Cuba,
In an
who's
emergency
Morel's
scenario, just make sure that Fu is not in charge of the
Where
supplies.
the F is all my crap?
You know what's coming here. He pushes
You're
it,
all
right?
gonna
Look at-
die.
Oh my God,
Fu
where's
is in
my
charge
shit?
of the supplies.
Okay, this took so long. I lost all my stuff.
If you need sound
Okay, I found it. I found it.
Fu is great,
All right,
but
Bob,
if you
I
need
found
supplies,
it. Calm down. Calm down.
fucked.
All right, Bob.
The other thing I
All
wanted
right.
to talk about. Okay, so this.
You got to
video
get 3
here
questions,
with,
Quags, to win the prize. Do
Luis de
you think you can
Cuba,
do
who's
that?
Morel's
Unlikely.
Check
Should we
this
make
out.
this easier, Bob? Should we make it less than 3 questions?
You know what's
Just
coming here. He pushes
start.
him, right?
Okay, here we go.
Jesus.
Here we go. Can you hear me?
Julio Marquez.
You hear me?
Yes, he
Okay,
can hear
okay,
you.
can
Well,
Okay, here we go.
Julio Marquez is still alive and he's just living his life. So that's
We're
why
gonna
I'll say
do this
RP
shit.
Rapid.
When?
I see.
Right now.
All right.
Right now. Questions are happening. Hopefully
The other
these
thing
are
I
not
wanted to talk
uncovered.
about- so
Okay,
so
they're
this
not uncovered.
video
Okay, here we go.
With
First question.
Luis de Cuba, who's Morel's.
Who directed Return
Check
of the
this.
Living Dead? You have 5 seconds.
You know what's coming here. He pushes him, right? And look
Oh
at
shit! They're not questions pertaining
Julio
to this fucking
Marquez.
movie.
You know what I'm saying? Ripper might be dead, but Julio Marquez is still alive
No.
and he's just living his life. So that's why I'll say RP Rapid.
I see.
Okay.
All
I have no idea.
You want me to ask you the question again?
The other thing I wanted to talk about.
Because I don't know if
so
you're
so
watching.
this
Do you see
video
the screen?
With,
He heard the question.
Oh, so you heard the question. Let me say it one more time. Who directed Return
Check
of the
this.
Living Dead?
So-
I'm going to give you the question, the
you know
multiple
what's coming
choice
here. He
answers
pushes
right
him,
now. Okay.
And look.
Okay. Dan
Julio Marquez.
O'Bannon
You know what I'm saying? Ripper might be
George
dead, but
A.
Julio Marquez is
Romero,
still alive and he's just living his
or
life.
Steven Spielberg.
So that's why I'll say RP Rapid.
I'll give you 5 more seconds, all
I
right?
see. All right.
Give me
The other thing I want to
options.
talk about. Okay, so this video here with
You think it's O'Bannon?
Luis de Cuba, who's Morel's.
I guess so. I have no fucking.
Check this out. So,
All right, so you've chosen what?
you know what's coming here. He pushes him, right? And look
You
at
chosen what? The A? All right.
Julio Marquez.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Ripper might
Bob.
be dead, but Julio Marquez is
The
still
answer
alive and he's
is
living his life. So that's why I'll say RP.
Dan
Rapid.
O'Bannon.
You were
I
correct.
see.
You're correct.
All right.
You're damn right.
The other thing.
Yes. You know, most people, I think most people would say Romero, right?
Luis de
It actually
Cuba,
wasn't.
who's Morel's
I initially
promoter.
thought that.
Check this.
but
Yes, that's why I built the question like
You know
that.
what's coming here. He
Yes.
pushes him, right? And look.
Yep. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Julio
just
Marquez.
too damn intelligent.
Guys, where do you hear
Ripper might be dead, but
BDA?
Julio Marquez is still alive and he's just
What are you
living his
talking
life.
about?
So that's
We
why I'll say
have
RP
both
Rapid.
Dark and
I see.
Thunderdome saying they hear
All right.
BDA. Are you playing BDA
Oh
somewhere?
shit! There might be. There might. Give me 1 second. There might be something looping.
Fu is quite literally
Yeah,
the
there's some kind of.
embodiment of
There's a sample in
too
here.
many
That,
windows open
no, no, what
and
happened,
no idea where this
what
is
happened is
coming
that I captured, I probably was listening to BDA's podcast while I was capturing some of this shit. And I actually recorded the audio from BDA. Thanks for letting me know.
Jesus Christ.
It was Dan O'Bannon, people. It was Dan O'Bannon. Hopefully we didn't hear that the whole effing time.
Jiminy Crickets.
Where the hell did the BDA sound come from? Oh, dude, it's the fog. Holy crap. I hope that wasn't there the
I
whole time.
literally can't deal with you
All
sometimes.
right. Sorry about that. There was the BDA. He's infesting our show. All right. Question number 2.
Dear Lord.
Okay.
This guy is destroying my show without even being here. All right. First zombie movie made. Is it Day of the Dead, The Last Man on Earth, or White Zombie? Well, you answer it now. You got 5 seconds.
Give me B. Number 2.
He said B.
All right. Did you say B?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is that your final answer?
Yep.
Okay. The answer is White Zombie. It's White Zombie. Sorry, man. Sorry. But they've got one last question you can answer. Just to answer them because I have 3 questions.
I would like a recount.
What do you mean a recount? White Zombie. All right. Who stars in White Zombie? Let me know that. Do you know?
It's irrelevant.
It is irrelevant. You're correct. It's Bela Lugosi. It's a Bela Lugosi film. It's from 1932, I think. 1932. Yeah. It's the very first zombie movie. All right. Wait.
I was right there.
You were close. You were close. All right. We got one more. See if you can answer this one.
I mean, we did kind of trip that up a little bit because we talked a lot about The Last Man on Earth. So that might have felt a little leading.
Yeah. First zombie film. She might have led you, but the very first one, Last Man on Earth is like the most influential. Also, I think when did I Am Legend come out, Bob?
I Am Legend was early 50s, I believe.
Early 50s.
I believe I can check.
I think it was earlier.
We
than
have Dark in the comments saying that you captured BDA and Sobers talking about Repit.
That is kind of weird, isn't it?
You know, we were just summoning Repit back to the internet. I
hate the fact that was in there. That really annoys me. That really annoys me. Sorry about that. Sorry, we had that. I got to stop capturing these clips when I'm listening to stuff. Good thing it wasn't something else. Just kidding. All right. Question number. We'll get it where you can just get 2 questions right, Quags. If you can get 2 right, you win. Okay?
I'm ready.
You ready?
Yes.
Here we go. You got just 2 or 3. That's it. You got 1 right. Number 3. We got to build attention. Are you ready? You don't hear BDA in here, do you?
No.
Okay,
I don't
good.
hear anything,
Good.
But besides you guys.
Okay, here we go. Question number 3. Who was the special makeup effects artist for Night of the Living Dead? You have, I'm going to tell you right now, Lon Chaney, Stan Winston, or Tom Savini. I'm going to give you 5 seconds.
I'll go with the woman.
The woman?
The what? Oh, wait. I'm going to give you the full 5 seconds, right?
The first one. What was the first name?
Lon Chaney. Lon Chaney.
It sounds like a woman. I don't know.
All right, so you're going with 1?
No, I have no idea. Like, how would I know what the makeup was?
But who are you going
crazy.
with? Do you want me to read the options again?
He knows the options.
I don't know if he could see it. He might be on his phone and not seeing it.
No, I'm not. I don't care. Go ahead.
All right. So you know your options. You know the names.
No, I know. Read them again.
Lon Chaney. That's A. B. Stan Winston. And then C is Tom Savini.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I take it back. I'm going with the Italian. That sounds like some pretty shit, maybe. Very eccentric.
All right, you're going with C?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to show you what's the correct ones.
All right.
All right, you got it correct. It is Tom Savini. And you know what? When I fucked up on? You know what I fucked on? I fucked up. I'm going over here trying to check for all this shit, and I forgot to hit my other button. All right, well, the first. Give me 1 second. Tools.
So yeah, Quags, Lon Chaney was an actor, and he was the actor who played the Wolfman in
Yes,
the original
he was a
Wolfman
makeup
movie.
artist as well.
I thought he said Yvonne Chaney. I'm
He's
like, oh,
he's
I'll
one
go
of the
with women.
pioneers.
Well, women do makeup.
He's one of the.
I mean, I guess, you know, Lon, Yvonne, even if
Yes.
it was Lon, it could sound female, but
Yeah.
Lon Chaney
Did
is
I
an
not
actor.
pronounce that correctly?
No, you did. But also, we're using
All right.
an internet connection phone
Yes.
situation with a lag. So
this
whatevs.
here is, I was supposed to hit the slideshow for the first one. The first director was the director of Night of the Living Dead.
Return
the
of
Return
Living
of
Dead.
Living Dead. That's a picture of the director there. All right. This is the answer for the second one. There you see White Zombie, Bela Lugosi. She was not alive nor dead. There you go. There's some pictures from the film. Bela Lugosi being Bela Lugosi.
Yep. Bela Lugosi was pretty much just always Bela Lugosi. Regardless of what he was supposed to be, he was always himself.
There he is, Bela Lugosi.
Kind of like Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is just always Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. And then we got the guy you just...
Isn't that George Romero?
no, that is the third answer.
Oh, Tom Savini, huh?
Yes, he's a world famous makeup artist. He became, his first film was, I mean, you got it right. Tom Savini. You got it wrong initially, then you changed it up.
But
he
Well, I
started...
know.
his film-
But when you told me the other person wasn't a woman, I was like, oh. It kind of gave me pause.
Yeah, it sounds like Lana Chaney. But there's
I had to go
Savini
with,
himself.
Like, who would be the most? I had to go with who I thought would be the most eccentric.
Yes.
Sound like Italians are pretty fruity sometimes.
Yeah. Tom Savini for sure. I mean, look at that. He's got a dick gun.
Oh my goodness.
He's got a dick gun. No joke. He had a penis gun. He was in From
But
Dusk to
Stan
Dawn.
Winston is also a pretty famous special effects artist and practical effect designer.
All right. So, Quags got it correct. I gave him some chance. He actually lost, but then he won because I changed up the rules. So, you could tell us some stuff. We'll send you some things, some prizes. We do give out prizes for this.
Do I get to pick the prize, or what's going on here?
I mean,
Is
we
it like a
usually
copy?
we pick out the prizes. Usually, that's kind of it. I mean, if not, people would say, "Can you give me $1 million?" You're like, "I don't have $1 million, bro."
Well, that's too bad.
Well, what kind of? Well, you could talk to us after. We'll tell you.
I want a food coffee mug.
Ooh, wait! I can probably give you that. I could probably give you a food TV
Well,
coffee
you do
mug.
that. But you have to put Foo and Bob on there or something like. No,
Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. Well, we'll send you. We'll send you a package.
Your new name, Bob, is Bobbarian.
Bobbarian?
Bobbarian.
Yeah.
Listen, man, okay, I have a very low threshold of patience for people who are just flailing around
Yeah.
uselessly.
Look at this guy over here.
I
He won the
can't.
damn thing. I got to make better questions.
We've got Iceman in the comments saying that he thought Michael Landon was the first Wolfman. No, actually, Lon Chaney played the Wolfman, I think, in the 30s.
Yes. Yes.
And
That's an
that-
old film.
That's where that iconic scene of the time lapse of him transforming into a wolf happens.
Hopefully this didn't
That
lock
was
up.
like a very difficult practical effect
Yes.
to execute because the idea is it's supposed to look like a single uncut shot of this man transforming from like a regular looking dude into a werewolf.
What's interesting is I think Savini actually did the makeup for American Werewolf in,
I think he did.
Paris or London, actually, the original one where they had that transformation. So he was an amazing special effects artist. He's still doing it to this day. To this day!
And Stan Winston is no schlub either. So technically speaking, none of the answers were
Well,
not
Steven
people
Spielberg,
involved.
I put him in there, but Winston...
You didn't put him in there for the makeup. You put him in there as the director.
Well, Winston... No, Winston, I put him in the makeup category, didn't I?
Yeah,
I thought I
Stan
did.
Winston.
Winston actually is the makeup artist for films like Terminator.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? The other big one, I think Avatar. He also
Yeah.
did the makeup for Predator and a lot of other classic films.
Mhm.
Savini's big in horror.
Yeah.
He's done some of the biggest horror
But
films
he's
around.
big in like campy horror.
Yeah.
Where it's like
he built some of the most
gonzo
violent
horror.
horror. Yeah. Like he is an innovator in very gory
Yeah.
horror.
And that's why he and Romero worked well together because
Yes.
Romero really leans into the body horror side of things.
Yes. Savini was just a master of that. Like he would study dead bodies in order to do this. Like a lot of that stuff he did in these films was like accurate. Like in Day of the Dead, where they tear that guy to pieces and rip his intestines out.
Mm-hmm.
What a sick bastard he is, right?
Well, I mean, you know, the body farm doesn't just serve medical and law enforcement purposes. It also does inform the film industry. That's partially what keeps it funded.
All right, Bob. It's time to review the film,
Yeah.
even though we talked over it the whole damn time.
No, we didn't. Stop. You're so dramatic.
It's fine. This is a
Quags,
talkie.
would you like to hang out and like review the film?
Is Quag still on the phone?
Sure.
Yes, you should pay attention.
Yeah, we don't have a. I'm going to see. We only have 2 slots. You want to put another
See,
one
Quags,
in there?
now you get to understand why Fu is constantly not paying attention to anything I say ever.
I can see it.
He needs you. This is that you two are a good dynamic. He's doing a lot of things, and you're making sure he's on track.
Yeah, I'm doing so much crap over here. It's amazing.
He actually is. I tease him a lot. I make fun of him a lot, but he's incredibly talented.
Hopefully, we have the damn scorecard in here, or this is going to be extremely retarded.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Where the hell is my
I'm giving
scorecard?
you compliments, and you're so discombobulated 100% of the time.
I really disgust myself. Okay, rating, please. Oh, Lord.
So, had you ever seen this film before, Quags?
Nope.
Oh,
wow,
cool.
you never saw Night of the Living Dead, Quags? What the F? What the F is wrong with you?
I think I talked to you about this before on Discord. I'm not really big into horror movies or anything like that, so I didn't really look at I never really watched like any of the earlier stuff. Like, you know what's, I think I told you this, you know what's scary to me is like Event Horizon.
That is a legitimately scary movie.
Event
though.
Horizon is a great film. Again, it's like
I know,
a film
but
we
it's
saw
like
the other day.
sci-fi. It's like I don't know.
It's like sci-fi
weird.
horror. It's actually very similar to this film in a lot of ways. You know how well, except the danger is in the home, so it's more similar to House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah.
It's definitely got elements of that in it.
But it sounds like you gravitate towards the existential horror more than the surmountable realist horror.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't consider zombies like a realist horror, but I don't know. You know what it was about Event Horizon was like they acted like they went out there for something regular. It's like, oh, we lost these guys out here, and then it becomes like a fifth dimension thing.
Yeah,
that makes sense. You know, like you're crossing over kind of stuff, and then they found like a portal, and it's like, oh boy, I didn't really. When I was younger, I was like, I don't know if I signed up for this. Like, that was more than I thought.
Yeah.
And I hated Alien when I was a kid, too. I hated it. That scared the shit out of me. So that was like, when I watched Event Horizon, they took that to the next level.
It's definitely terrifying. And it plays on that would be I guess the closest analog of Event Horizon would kind of be, there's a film called Deep Water about people who are like stranded at sea, like out in the open ocean and just stranded. And it's kind of that where they just went out like on a fishing expedition or trip or whatever it is.
All right, give
and then everything goes catastrophically wrong and they're just stranded with like no power, no sails, nothing out in the middle of the ocean.
Yes.
It's that same kind of like.
All right. One second, guys. Sorry to cut you off, but I'm going to have to go to our other profile in order to get the scorecard because I think it's not in this build of
Lord
the show.
have mercy.
I'm going to hit the button. Hopefully it doesn't kill the show, but if it does, we want to thank you all for joining us. I'm going to hit this button right now.
Goodness gracious. You are such a ridiculous human being. I love you dearly.
Oh, my
but
Lord.
Good Lord.
Oh, man. That really like scared me a little bit. Okay.
We've got Thunderdome in the comments saying that ghosts are more real than zombies for him. You know, I think if you discount ghosts as a possibility, it is naive.
I'm going to have to check all the audio forms to see that we don't have BDA infesting our show with his racism. All right, people, it's time to score the damn movie.
Canadian is, if he hops on, like his Canadian lag and shit, that's what happens.
Oh, yeah, he just fills the show. He corrupts
They have no bandwidth over there.
Oh,
well,
yeah, Trudeau was just infested everything.
Canada. Listen, Canada has great skiing, man. I have enjoyed my trips to Canada.
Yeah, of course you would, you hipster. All right, give me 1 second. I'm looking. Where the hell's my drawing thing, Bob?
I don't know.
How do I write?
I don't know.
Oh my God, I keep losing everything. Falling apart over here. I got to incorporate this in the other build. I really effed this up, but it's been pretty decent. It's been pretty decent.
Do you do any skiing or snowboarding?
Episode.
Huh?
I have to.
I said he does this every episode.
It's pretty sad.
Where did this go?
He does.
I have so much crap. I literally have 3 screens right now. And
He
I'm
does.
Looking for.
And one of them is like a 50-inch TV, is one of his computer screens.
Yes. Well, that's the one I have most of the stuff on.
And the other 2 are not small either. No. And he keeps telling me he needs another screen. And I was like,
I have.
And not only that he needs another screen, he needs another
like 8
desk
trillion
for
monitors
his other
up in
screen.
the attic, but they're too small.
Maybe he does. He can't find anything.
I can't find anything. There's too many things, too many buttons, too
Like,
many
I
things.
literally can't.
All right, Bob, here we go.
He's like all the time. He's like, I need another screen. I'm like, bro, you have so many screens.
I need lots of screens.
Where are you going to put this additional
no idea how many
screen?
screens I need. You're racist.
He's like, I need another room.
Well, he's already saying he needs another desk. So he
Bob,
currently
Bob, we have
has
to decide
3
on
desks.
this. We have to think
but
about
he
this.
now needs another desk.
I do.
And I'm like, where the fuck are you putting this additional
you don't
fourth
need to curse,
desk?
Bob. This is a family show, for God's sakes. This is a family show.
We supposedly, allegedly,
I'm gonna have to play the theme songs of Howard the Duck in order to cover up your whatever curse words you just
we
said.
allegedly have a shared office space, but Foo's obsessive compulsive tendencies are creeping onto my section of the office.
We got it, Bob. Time to review the film.
Oh, it's like a female with a closet.
This is
That's
getting
good,
dark.
Julio. You should do that.
This is getting really dark right now. I'm Foo. I've become Foo. Great performance from Israel Ala Lasagna in this film.
I forgot.
All right, the reviews are coming.
Thunderdome in the comments says Foo is NSA. Hey Foo, is there any way you could turn up the volume on the phone?
Let me see. I think that has to do with. Give me 1 second.
Oh my goodness.
Let me see if I can.
You know
do
what?
that.
I think that should be
Is
the
that
first
already
official.
asking that in the comments. Is it
I
really
think
low?
that should be the first official piece of merch that is released. A T-shirt that just says "Give me a second."
I have to figure out what the hell
Attribution
I
to
have to hit to fix
Foo.
that. Is there's got to be a setting in the actual application. Let me see if I can find it. Voice. I see.
Recognize the
voicemail
Matrix
message.
is saying that Quag sounds like he's speaking from satellite radio. It is not Quags' fault. This is 100% like a
It's
weird
just-
Google
it's just
voice
Google
interface
shit.
issue.
Does Google allow you to
sounds
raise?
fine. He's just being a dick.
He sounds fine. He sounds
Sort of
fine.
hot
Yes.
right now.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's a little bit
Oh
racist
my
too.
goodness gracious. But yeah.
I don't know where the hell would I go for that, Bob. I don't know.
You're really I know that you're not asking
I'm
me
looking at
how
the
to do something
application. I don't
technical
know
on your
where there's a
spaceship over
volume
here.
Thing. Let me see. I don't know. I know I could try to lift the desktop audio. Wait, Quag, say something.
Sing for us.
Yeah, sing.
Hello. Oh boy.
Okay, so Quag's audio is coming through the desktop audio.
Do you have a cold?
Yes.
No, I was clearing my voice. I was gonna do my Louis.
Let me see if I
Armstrong.
turn off the music and we'll see if it raises
No,
voice.
Are you preparing for an operatic moment here?
Is he?
I was.
Are
I
you
can't do it now.
You're singing? Okay, you could sing if you want. It's okay. All right, Bob.
Yeah.
I think I lifted his voice a little bit. Lift every voice, Bob. Lift every voice.
I'm ready.
Oh, you did. He's actually much more.
Is he?
He's louder. Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe we've raised Quag's voice. You know, maybe I'll add another slot. We'll see if we can fill another slot. We'll put you in there. Give me 1 second.
Oh my stars. Give me a second. Is the
Right.
that is
He
going to
wants
be
if he
the
wants to review it, we'll let him review it.
that
Maybe
is going to
this-
be the subtitle of your autobiography.
Maybe
Give me
this
a
will
second.
be a thing we do on the show for now, and we get like people on here, and we like all review the movie together.
Yeah.
1 second. Now I have to use all my stupid tools.
Oh my goodness gracious. But yeah, so Foo is
Where are they?
they're
They're on
missing
the screen.
missing in action as
all
always.
the tools are on the screen.
Like I'm very orderly and Foo is the embodiment of chaos.
Not really. I'm not that chaotic.
I'm getting that.
So
Wait, where the
it's
heck is
like
my
looking
thing?
at his filing system on his
God.
like 900 screens
Oh my God.
gives me anxiety.
Are you
And
saying
I am
I'm
not a
disorganized
person who
'cause
is
I'm
prone
Hispanic?
to
Is that
anxiety,
why?
but it gives me anxiety.
I'm Hispanic, and that's why I'm
I'm
disorganized.
like, oh
Is
my
that what you're
God,
saying?
how do you find anything ever?
What?
Jesus Christ.
I go through sort of like my sock drawer.
Like you what?
Go through a sock drawer.
Oh gosh.
Sock drawer.
And this is not limited to the show. Like, Fu also can't find anything in his actual
always
real
losing
life
stuff.
all of the time.
Yeah, it's true.
This makes sense.
I'm a piece of trash. What can I
Like,
say? I'm a spy.
I will sometimes not even be in the house. I'll be someplace completely different.
Have you ever seen?
And he'll
True
call
Lies?
me, hey, do you know where, like, my socks are? I'm like, no.
Right.
Why would I know where your socks are?
What?
You are just chaos. I love you very much, but you are chaos.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna put your name in there. Give me 1 second. You're gonna get it. It's gonna happen. Quags is being put in here now. Bob,
All right, I'm in here.
Yeah.
are you okay?
No.
Okay. He's looking for. Oh, he writes it. It's the Quags, right? I probably shouldn't put that because it's too big.
I don't know.
It's probably not a good idea to put the whole thing in there because it's too damn big.
Right.
For the.
That was that. You know what?
I told you it's a pretty big writing there.
Quags is a gentleman for not capitalizing on that beautiful layup you just made.
What did I say?
I'm going to let you
Are you getting gay
ruminate
in
on
here?
that.
You getting gay? You being beta? I'm talking about his name there, Bob. This is a family show, damn it.
Manos is saying that you're getting exposed a little bit. He's getting exposed a little
Talking
bit.
about his
with
damn
love.
name, you freaking perverts.
And Thunderdome is saying, does he call you into the room just to hand him the remote? We do that to each other. I will own that. I will sometimes be like, I can't find the remote,
I mean,
and I
hopefully
just
this-
don't feel like. If I'm particularly comfy, I'll be
His
like,
name
I
fits on the
can't
screen.
find it.
Name, you fucking perverts.
So I will do
get
that to him
done.
sometimes. But Fu is more like all of the time. I don't know where I don't know where my cell phone is. I don't know where the
just change
cars
my
are.
damn
I don't know where
scorecard
my
for this
wallet
guy.
is. Where are my socks?
Let's see if we can get this pulled up a little bit.
Who hides the control as a control mechanism?
Okay. Hopefully this all fits on the screen.
I actually don't like watching TV or anything like in bed, so that's not really a problem for me. I require silence.
All right, there you go. Quags is in the show now. He's got a review, so now he can score it. Is that good? Or should I make him white, Bob? Should I make Quags white?
Yeah, you might as well.
He's requesting to be white.
He would want to be white, wouldn't he?
Why not?
I mean, you could make it.
Is that a good font for him?
Sure. I'm not particularly fussed one
Okay,
way
there
or
you
the
go.
other.
There's
to be honest.
Quags. I couldn't put the in there. It's too many letters.
Thunderdome, it is often like an episode of Dude, Where's My Car in this house.
All right, here we go. Bob.
Yeah.
Quags. People. Cinematography.
I'm gonna give it an 8. I think that they did a really good job.
An 8, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, you really liked it. All right, that doesn't look good. I gotta fix that. That 8 looks like shit.
I can't.
Give me 1 second. Wait a second.
Oh my
I'm gonna
god! Why
change
don't
the
you
coloring.
just type the number?
I don't wanna. Takes too long.
Like, why are you making this?
I don't wanna type a
literally
number.
more complicated than it needs to be all of the
Oh
time.
my god, it's what it is. I have too much transparency on it. I have to change the
my
transparency.
goodness.
Wait, what the F is happening?
Jesus
it's the wrong brush. That's what it is. I got the wrong brush on there. Let's try to do that 8. Oh, this brush is enormous.
Foo,
No diddy.
bro. What
All
is
right, here we go.
What are you doing
Oh my
right
god,
now?
this looks terrible. That 8 looks like crap. Sorry, people. Give me 1 more second. I'll get this. I'll get this down.
can't. I literally can't. Like,
Yeah,
what
calm
are
down,
you doing?
Bob.
What
Calm
are you
down.
doing in your life
I'm gonna
right
get
now?
it there. It's gonna get there. We're gonna achieve. Okay, here we go. 8 is gonna happen. Wow, look at that 8. Still looks like shit. I give the cinematography. I thought it actually had really good cinematography in here. The lighting, the framing of a lot of the shots was really good. I'm gonna give it a freaking 8 as well. Man,
All
I
right.
wrote that like shit.
It's fine.
Listen,
Just
you know
leave
what's
it
the
alone.
problem? I'm gonna do it one more time.
Oh my
The
gosh.
the layer, it's the wrong layer. That's what it is. I got it in the wrong layer. I'm changing the layer. All right, here we go. Now it's gonna work.
I can't. You're so ridiculous.
There you go. 2 8s. That 8 is a little too thick.
Watch out. You can't have
did it.
88. anywhere.
All right,
Get in trouble.
Quags, cinematography.
All right. I have a quick question.
Yep.
Before we go on. What year was this made?
1968.
68, yes.
Ooh. It looked kind of good to me. If I'm not mistaken, they came out with HD around then, even though they didn't have it.
Yeah.
Because they can. That's why they can remaster. That film looked really clear.
Yes.
I would give it like a 7.
7.
I think it looked. 7. I think it looked pretty damn good for
clarity.
part, actually, it looked pretty good for clarity.
Mm-hmm.
All right, give 1 moment. We're gonna hit the X-Files
And I think
music.
that especially because their budget was so low, they had to be really intentional about the staging of the shots because they made this entire film on $100,000.
Yeah.
Which, is not like a small amount of money, but when you think about creating
That's a lot of movie.
96-minute roughly film with multiple locations and that many extras and like demolition of a property and blowing up a car and doing all this crazy stuff and essentially special effects makeup for like everybody, that budget dwindles fast.
Yeah.
So I think that they made really intelligent choices.
Yeah.
With the very little that they had so that they were able to maximize it.
All right. Sound.
Yeah.
What do you think of the sound, Bob?
I think that the sound was okay.
This is everything. This is the music.
Yes,
and-
I'm aware.
Yes, okay.
We've established this. I got it.
All right.
I think it was less prominent than in the film we saw not yesterday, but the day before. The silence played more of a role in this film.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give this one a 6 because I think it was okay. I think that they could have done a little bit more with the soundscaping.
The thing is that silence is a part of it. So that is part of the sound. Using silence can be a very effective thing in films.
Oh,
Just
I
because
agree.
there's the absence of sound, the absence doesn't mean that it's a bad thing, Bob.
No, I agree, but I think that sometimes it was like, I think it could have been like the crickets were really good.
They were chirping a little too loud,
but
weren't they?
it like if you can hear the crickets, then you would hear other sounds as well. You wouldn't just hear the crickets.
Yeah, you hear like the wood creaking and everything else, right? But that'd be a little too intense, right? It's like,
Well,
what are we,
but that's
high on
the
fucking
thing.
LSD?
Like you're going so hard on crickets,
Yes.
but
Nothing else.
I can't hear them walking around the room. Like I can't hear them coming up
you
the
want
basement
like that crab
stairs.
monster kind of like loud twig sounds in there. Is that what you're saying? No?
Well, yeah, kind of. Like, I mean, I don't
You
want
can
it
hear
to
the
be
zombie step on glass.
totally implausible.
Yeah.
But if you've got literal hordes of undead semi-sentient beings lolloping across the grass and through the brambles, like I would expect to hear things other than just crickets, you know? So I think that they had the right idea and they were trying to use what they had effectively, but I
Yes.
just don't think they got quite all the way there.
All right, so you gave it a 6.
I gave it a 6.
Okay.
Iceman in the comments is saying it was a lot of makeup. Correct. There were a lot of practical effects used in this film.
All right. I'm gonna give it. I thought actually the music is really good in here. I think it's in many ways ahead of its time. It's actually very creepy, and a lot of the bass notes and the different kind of textured sounds they use in here is like what you saw a lot of going forward. I'm gonna give it a 9. That's for a combination of musical. The composer, whoever made the music in here, and the sound effects are really cool as well. But the music really is the star of the show. And like Bob said, I like how they use silence, right? And then it kind of brings out more of those little sounds throughout the house, the creaking and all that. All right, Quags, what'd you give it? Sound.
I agree with you. I think it sounds really well. Sonically, they mixed it really well. That's what I heard while I was listening to about it. Like all the sounds and everybody around it, even the commentary, they sound good over the top of each other. I'm giving it an 8.
Whoa, an 8. Wow, you see this? 8, and this is the first time you saw this film. Sorry we talked over it, but this is a talk.
I would encourage you to like watch this film, like just watch it.
Yes, it's
a
very
lot
good.
of these old movies are really actually really good.
I mean, these are the founding fathers of this kind of this genre. You know, Romero was one of the he brought it home, right? He was the father of all that came after it. You know, 28 Days Later and all that. It's all because of Romero.
Resident Evil,
all of it.
Yep.
All right, FX. What do you guys think of the effects?
The effects, I'm giving the effects a 10. Like they really went for it. They committed full send. They had so much complexity. Like even though now looking at it with the lens of knowing how far effects came, thinking about these effects in 1968 would have been absolutely fucking terrifying. And very, very intense, a very visceral experience.
The nudity really added to it. It really did in this film, right? It added that kind of visceral feeling.
It was shocking.
It almost dehumanizes them, right? The character.
So I'm giving it a 10. Like, I know that it looks hokey now.
At times. Sometimes it actually really was disgusting.
If you think about this from the lens of an audience that like had literally never seen anything like this, it was absolutely groundbreaking. For
the closest thing was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, probably. That came after.
That came after this.
That came shortly after.
The closest thing that they would have had to this would have been some of the scenes from like the werewolf films.
Yes.
But even that, it's a fade to black
nothing was as
moment.
violent as this, and they went straight up naked, which actually, Bob, you could tell for sure came from I Am Legend.
Yeah.
Because remember, in I Am Legend, there were supposed to be naked zombies.
The I Am Legend vampire zombie things.
They were supposed to be vampires.
They try in the book I Am Legend.
They were naked.
The women vampire things they're described in significant detail, and their naked bodies, they're outside, like essentially trying to seduce the protagonist to come out so that they can kill him. And they're using their nude bodies to do it.
Yes,
it's very graphic.
Yes.
So I think that this is a nod to that.
They didn't do it, but
no,
Romero did do it, and it's because he had a low budget film, so he was able to take more risks.
He was sneaky.
Yeah, he was sneaky. He's a sneaky bastard. But he admitted that his inspiration was I Am Legend.
Yeah,
he literally admitted that. So without I Am Legend, that is, when it comes to films, this one I think is superior to
The Last
Man on Earth. But I Am Legend is the inspiration for this. All right, Quags, what do you give FX?
Based how you guys were talking about it and putting my mind into like the time frame of it, I rate it pretty high. I give it a 9.
A 9?
Nice, yeah.
Just like me, yeah. It's very influential.
Whenever we try to rate
I need to learn how to write.
Or at least I always try to put myself in the audience that would have seen it like in theaters live. Because now, right, like when you think about the effects that we're able to achieve today, blows this film out of the water. But
I don't know
none of
about
those
Bob.
things existed.
I really don't know that if that's true. Like, because I think the practical effects are so good that they do even
Right,
in
but
black
we
and white. They
ha-
really stand toe to toe. At times, it stands toe to toe.
Absolutely. And right. But I'm thinking about like practical effects. Like we built dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
Well, the practical effects did get better, but the thing is I think Savini could have done even more graphic practical effects. He just wasn't able to.
Yeah.
The film would have never been released.
Didn't Savini also do the vampire thing with Salma Hayek?
Yes. Yeah. He did it from Dusk Till Dawn.
Till Dawn.
Yeah, that's what he was in there. He did the prosthetics. Yeah. Obviously he was inspired by the legends, Lon Chaney and, Savini, what's his name? The other one from Predator. But I mean, he predates those guys.
Yep.
Not Chaney for sure. He was probably not even born when that guy was doing his stuff. But, he's inspired by the legends. Yeah. And he did, like I said, for sure they broke a lot of rules just because it was a lower budget film.
This film created a tremendous amount of controversy because technically speaking, there weren't any rules it was breaking, but it was perceived as breaking the social contract of moral decency.
For sure.
And
I mean, but they were
really
zombies, so you can
people.
get away with stuff like, shooting people, like the graphic, like head wounds and all that crazy stuff.
Seeing people like ripping other human body parts apart and eating them and all of that.
Yes.
The naked person walking around.
But the way they did it was in a lot of ways it was tasteful. Like they It's
But
so it's sold the fear of it, right? It isn't gratuitous and just to be like that's what it was later on.
Yeah.
Like Sweeney, he became way more graphic.
It wasn't gratuity. It wasn't gratuitous gore for the sake of gratuitous
But
gore.
Savini, over time, it became all about the gore because all the slasher films had come out, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's really why he went over the edge because he was able to do it. I mean, I think he did the makeup in Scanners. The guy's head literally blew up.
Yeah.
And then later on, it got to the point where the violence wasn't. It wasn't shocking. It was comical.
Yep.
Yeah. That was
It's
one
like
of my issues.
you go over the apex of the the point of no return, like the diminishing prospects.
Yes. All right.
Or the diminishing
Yeah.
return. Point of diminishing returns.
It became
There we go.
way too graphic over time. It got comical. Story, Bob.
I think the story was really good because on the surface level, right, you have the abiding, creeping horror of this unknown, irradiated dead people threat, right? But the real core of the story is the horror of being isolated within a group of people
Yes.
upon whom your life depends. So as much as it's a quote unquote zombie movie, it's actually about the inherent flaws and frailties in human beings.
Yes. And so, and in a lot of ways, civilization.
Yeah.
Because they had to work. And this is kind of the world we live in. We kind of live in, I mean, if you look at it as a country or as a humanity itself, right?
Yeah.
We literally have flesh eating things all around us, right? And we're all trying to survive. But this, you could kind of, it's like almost like a country, right?
Yep.
Or a business.
It's a microcosm.
Yes,
You
exactly.
have all of these different people and they all have their own perspective, opinion, abilities, whatever, their flaws. And they must come together to work collaboratively if they are going to survive.
But they all needed to lift each other, right?
Right. But because they are all flawed and inherently extremely human, they're unable to do that. And they all die as a result.
Yes.
So it is kind of a cautionary tale. It's very much aligned with Frankenstein, right? Because
It's
in
similar, yes.
Frankenstein, the monster isn't Frankenstein. The monster is the people. The monster is Dr. Frankenstein, not the thing he creates, right?
Yes.
So
This also has a similarity to Frankenstein with how
Exactly.
the
Mhm.
people screwing around with nuclear energy or radiation.
You're fucking around with nature and eventually you will find
and
out.
they created a monster. Bob, what's the number you give it?
I'm giving the story a 9. I think
9.
it plays into the abiding existential horror
Yes.
of other human beings.
Yes.
Because when you think about it, right, a big shark, a lion, a serial killer, they are all surmountable, killable things. But what we can't kill is the inherent fallibility of our fellow man, particularly in the context where we are relying upon them to survive.
Yes.
So that is something that gets at a very visceral and primal fear.
Yes. I'm going to give it a 9 as well. I think it's a classic. I think it's a film that you can watch many times and possibly get different perspectives from it. Even though I feel some of the characters are kind of like caricatures, and there is kind of like a political message happening outside. There is certain ways to see it, that I would not too big on, but
It's also very much leaning into that, like Joseph Campbell, which takes from Carl Jung's, like
Yes.
the archetypes of people in the hero
Yes.
story. Like Ben is very much representative of that, like hero's journey where the hero ultimately undoes himself.
But they're all kind of like you said, they're kind of, in a way, they're kind of caricatures, right?
Yeah.
Each guy doesn't really step outside the bounds of the character they're supposed to be. So the guy, the balding white dude is kind of a coward, and then that's just what he is. Then Ben is just like this manly man, he's just the master of everything. He's fucking amazing at everything. He's getting all the women. But maybe that was intentional as well, right? That's another component of why the other character, what's his name? The
Mr. Cooper.
Cooper is sort of like he's angry because Ben is everything that he wants to be.
But
right?
also, Mr. Cooper has so much more to lose. He has a wife. He has
Yes.
a child, like an actual
But that's
child.
another. This is why the movie's so great, is because there are all those layers
Yep.
that kind of like tells you maybe this is why Cooper is like that, because he's dealing with his child who's sick. But there's a lot of layers to this. The way his wife treats him, she kind of belittles
like their
him.
dynamic is obviously like very poor.
Yes.
And it's not being helped by the stress of the situation.
Exactly.
So, in some instances, like if you are Team Ben, which is, I think, the like now
Most people wouldn't
that's
be,
what
I
you're
feel like.
being led to support, right?
Yeah. Sorry, not most people. I'm sorry, I was confusing it with the other guy. But you could look at it and kind of understand where the other guy's coming from.
When you think about it, if you think about it from the perspective of a parent, right? If you're in this situation, you are obviously going to do everything you can do to try to protect your child, to try to protect your spouse. Ben doesn't have any attachments. Ben is just Ben. So Ben can be out here like this cowboy, like we're going to go get the gas and we're going to get the truck and we're going to make Molotov cocktails and blah, 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 blah. And the guy who's a dad is like, no, let's just go to the basement and be safe.
There's a lot of layers to it. Quags, what do you think of the story?
I think I don't know. You guys obviously watch a lot of movies and shit. So, you changing my perspective on it. Like at first, like I understand it. You guys are literally looking at it from like the bird's eye view. Like initially, I think story-wise, the way you say it, I think I agree with you. It's like a 9. Execution, the way they acted it out and the way they explain things, it's almost a 5. So if you mixed it, I'd give it around like a 7 to 8. I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle of that.
Well, we have another rating. We have the acting as well, but just by the story, the way it's told. You're saying you didn't think it was told that well?
I think they did a bad job, kind of like developing the characters.
It's not the most nuanced. That's what we're saying. They're kind of caricatures.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing.
And it's like you bring up a valid point.
Wait,
and you
sorry.
kind of
Quags, what was your number again?
I'll give it a 7.
All right, that's not a bad score.
No. And like to your point, the fact that these characters that were written, like they are so archetypal.
Yes.
It almost makes them inhuman. Like it makes it difficult to relate to them as people because they are so rigidly within this very particular footprint.
Yes.
So I can definitely see why that is stilted, where you're just like, this is not a normal way that a human would respond. Like, even if Mr. Cooper has a lot more to lose, right? He has his wife, he has his kid. Even if he doesn't like his wife, she's still his wife, right?
Yeah.
He would, it is not normal human behavior to behave the way that he behaved. So it does kind of kick you out of the story a little bit because you're like, why the fuck are you doing this? You're acting against your own best interests.
But he didn't think he was acting against his best interests. He thought the other guy was acting against his interests, right?
Well,
there was a lot of distrust there in each other's leadership. They both wanted to be the leader of the ship, and that's where the clash happened. And in the end, it killed all of them. Okay.
That made sense to me.
Yeah.
Honestly, like where you had like two people like with arguing points, that made sense to me. What didn't make sense was when they kind of had like the person swap. Remember that? He's like, oh, okay, I'm opening up the doors. Like, I'm not opening it up again. And then like, I don't know, like 4 scenes later, he's opened up the door and his wife's leaving and the other lady's coming back downstairs. Like, what is going on?
Well, in a way, then maybe they're showing you that maybe the guy in the basement was kind of correct in some ways, but maybe they were both correct, right?
But he was
they
also
just could not work
fallible,
together.
right? Like in his own right.
I think. Go ahead. I think what it shows a little bit, kind of. Well, I think Bob was talking about it earlier a little bit. It's like when you're in a situation like that, like it kind of goes back to the military theory. You're better off like just going one direction, even if it's a bad direction. You're better off going the one direction together and like definitively doing it than like breaking off in other directions and almost doing nothing. And I think that's kind of what they did.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that in some ways, like that is the Deus Ex Machina of this whole situation, right? Because if we were all in a situation like this, I think that more of us than less of us would try to collaborate because we're not stupid. And fundamentally, we want to survive. So I think that at a certain point, we would come together and try to figure it out as a group.
So there was a lot of distrust. That's really what it is,
Yeah.
right? Everybody felt vulnerable, and they kind of fell apart in that house.
And they attacked each other instead
in
of
a lot of
attacking
ways.
the problem.
Even the this guy here. What was his name? The younger guy.
I think his name was Tom.
Tom had a moment of weakness, and he abandoned them. Remember, he abandoned them. The truck.
Yeah.
They were able to fuel it up, and instead of waiting, or maybe all of them trying to put it out, he just drove off.
Yeah.
And then they all died, and then they both died. So again, they're all dividing themselves. They're all, they're all thinking every man for themselves in many ways, and that's kind of like I said. That possibly that's another message in this film that it led to their downfall. Acting, Bob.
Well, hold on. We've got Iceman in the comments saying we don't really know how we would respond in this situation.
Yes.
The main thing would be to stay and try to work together. And
Yes.
that's true,
But we've seen a situation kind of similar to this in our lifetime. We saw the whole virus thing. Remember
saw
how
the Great
everybody was trying to
Panini.
tear each other apart? Not everyone, but there were many people out there that were they were literally ratting on their fellow man.
Yeah.
They were doing all kinds of crazy
not
stuff.
only
put
ratting
your
on their
mask
fellow
on
man,
and all
but
this other shit.
rooting for their fellow man to have either
People were falling apart.
Judicial consequence, not judicial, that's not what I'm thinking about. Either legal consequences via ticketing, being arrested, being taken somewhere, or health consequences, like I hope you die. Like how many people were with their full chest on social media, like if you don't do this or if you don't do that, then you deserve to die or you deserve to go to jail.
In the workplace, we
Like,
saw a
real
lot
crazy.
of backstabbing. And that's that fear. That's also that is that fear of death, and that's what these characters had in the film, right? Every man, every person was afraid of death, and they were all just backstabbing.
Yep.
Even the woman who her brother had died, she had no trust in Ben, right? And that's why she fell apart. But towards the end of the film, she kind of woke up. But then it
She
was too
did.
late.
Yeah.
It was too late, and then she died.
Well, it also kind of, and I think that George.
What do you mean she died?
She was killed by the
The
zombies.
blonde got pulled out the front door and was
Yeah, she
eaten
got
by her
pulled
brother.
out.
I thought you said that in the sequel.
In the sequel, yeah, in the sequel she lives.
In the sequel, she
But
survives.
she's a redhead in the sequel.
But
They
in
made
this
her-
film, she dies.
in the sequel, she actually becomes like a badass.
Yeah.
They just turned it all on its head. But it was made by Savini. I didn't even know that. I didn't know
that's
he
cool.
directed films.
I guess Savini took that opportunity to do this film how he would have done it if he was in the driver's seat.
Yeah, he turned it on its head. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to do exactly as it is, so he did it the other way around.
There was nothing redeeming to the film if you think about it, because I think actually if they would have made it a little bit more cinematic, which they probably clearly, as you guys said, they couldn't. They didn't have the money, and then obviously the limitations they had back then.
Mm-hmm.
But that could have been pretty cool. Like if they would have had a little bit more money thrown at that.
I kind of like the kind of like simplicity of it. It feels more like intimate, right? It doesn't have that kind of sweeping shots and the kind of crazy, modern motion picture trappings. It's very simple.
And in some ways, that almost
And
makes
the
it feel
remake is
real.
actually took a lot from this one.
Yeah.
It really does recapture that again. It captures it. That kind of small town feeling,
Mm-hmm.
but the larger scale when they turn on the TV and they see the whole world is falling apart. That really, I feel that really sells it. You really don't want those big sweeping shots and all that. It takes away that kind of realistic feeling of it.
But to
And you know what
Quags'
also
point,
kind of captured that, Bob? 28 Days Later.
Yes.
They did a great job making that film feel almost real, the way it was shot.
But to Quags' point, if they had just a crumb more money, I think that they could have done slightly more realistic.
They could have got some higher
effects.
I think they could have got some bigger name actors and possibly maybe a more sophisticated cinematographer. But I think Romero, I think they could have done some things different. But for what they had, I think they did it really just made a great film.
They really did. And considering the scope of the film that they were trying to make with $100,000, no crew and no actual sets, I mean, that's dead impressive.
They shot it in a house and,
Well, yeah, they went to an abandoned, allegedly that was a real abandoned farmhouse that they just kind of decided to destroy.
That's the way you do it,
as
right?
part of their filming, and they were just like shooting in locations without permits or without really setting things up. So I'm assuming that the like people you see walking around in the background didn't know they were part of a movie.
I'm pretty sure they weren't paid. They were probably unpaid extras.
There were no extra.
They didn't do that back then.
Yeah. Hey Bob, what the acting? What number would you give it?
I think some of the actors were really, really good, and some of them were less good, which is, you know, the pick and mix you get. I'm gonna give the acting a 7.
Why?
I think Ben was really good.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Cooper was
I thought
good.
I thought he was kind of good.
But then you see like the blonde chick, and while I understand that she is performing like the fawn response,
It's very stilted.
I think that she made it almost comedic. Like when Ben punched her in the face, I was like, fuck yeah, punch her again. Throw her out to the zombies. She's terrible.
He kept rolling his eyes the whole time while
Like
she's
she
talking.
was so irritating. And like in a situation like this, I don't know. She annoyed the shit out of me, and I couldn't I couldn't move past how much I wanted her to die.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't redeemable at all in it. That's the problem. She went from being like catatonic to like remaining there the entire movie almost. Like fuck, that's it.
She was the first
And then she dies,
character.
and I'm like, great.
She was the first character we saw, so it felt like she was going to end up being the star of the
Yeah.
film, and then she ended up being really having the
fodder.
least lines of any character. Like she really, which is really interesting, isn't it?
It is,
To
and it
start the
was
film like that?
impactful initially. Like when she's silent and they're moving through the house and she like can't speak.
Yeah.
You know, but
It's also kind of a play on the old, what do they call it when they have the blondes screaming in the movies?
the Scream Queens.
The Scream Queens, it was kind of a play on that because
Yeah.
the Scream Queen had like, I don't know, one scream and then she was silent through the entire film
Yeah.
for the most part, which is interesting. I'm going to give the acting an 8. I think it's pretty good. I think it's more than good for the time period.
Yeah.
They're not all strong performances, but the ones that matter, I think, really
Yeah.
were there. The ones that mattered the most. Even the little zombie girl did a decent job. She's
She
pretty
did
menacing.
great. That kid was fucking terrifying.
Quags, what'd you give it? Acting.
I give the acting an 8 as well, considering the budget.
Yeah. Like for $100,000, they did all of that. And while I understand $100,000 in 1968 is different than $100,000 today, but still, like, there had to be over 100 extras that they were outfitting and doing makeup on, and they're burning shit down and blowing up a truck and demolishing a house and doing all this crazy shit. So, like, they were creative.
I mean,
that.
one of the most expensive things in the film was probably the special effects. Had to be to have that many extras and to be putting all those prosthetics on them and all that.
Yeah.
The bullet wounds were pretty good.
They were.
Yeah. He actually, I think, is the pioneer of that. Those
The
effects.
squibs?
Yep.
Yeah.
Those jibs or whatever they call them, where they put the little explosives in there. I think this was possibly the first film that had that technique.
No, I mean, you would see like the bullet wounds on the like gangster movies in the 40s, but
yeah, but you see the blood just
and all
spray
of
out
that.
and all that, you know?
That was not such a common thing because you couldn't really show that, but you would see like the squib explode
Yeah.
and like make a hole in the clothing, but I don't think you would see like the blood
Yeah,
spray
you would see like blood
that.
spurt out. He did all kinds of stuff with that.
He did.
I remember he did the movie, I think it was Maniac, and he put like an explosive in the head of one of the characters. He shoots with a shotgun. The head blows up. The dude is weird. And he's funny. Savini is very impressive with the
We've
stuff
got
he did.
Iceman in the comments saying that maybe she needed to be that way because we were happy when the zombie brother got her. Yeah, I mean, I think that her character was written that way for a reason, but it annoyed me nonetheless. It irritated me a lot.
They introduced her wrong. No, Fu was right. They introduced her wrong. It's like you dragged us through a whole movie looking at her and she didn't do shit. It's like,
Yeah.
why? Why
Yeah.
in the hell did you
But
do
that was kind of the play. She was just a force to lead them to this point, right?
Yeah. She's also kind of a foil, right? Because she keeps she's not only not helping, she is actively causing problems in various scenes.
I feel like they had the camera on her too much.
Yes.
And
That's what Quack was saying.
It kept misleading the audience into thinking that, when is this lady going to wake up, right? All right, Bob. Take
We've
it,
also-
take,
well,
take it
hold
or
on.
leave it.
Hold on. We've got
All right.
Technique in the comments saying that it was a good movie first time he saw it. I'm assuming you're a dude. I just kind of default assume most of you are dudes.
Yes.
Sorry if you're not.
It's fine. You can identify however you like.
And Iceman is saying the acting was pretty good, down to the policeman
Yes.
driving away in a limo. And then Technique is saying that he's surprised he didn't watch it before because he likes watching old movies.
It's a great
yeah.
film. It's a great.
It's really good.
It really is a classic. It's extremely influential.
I think
it's
a
one
lot
of the most
of-
influential movies ever created. That's not even an exaggeration.
You're right, actually.
It really is.
I think a lot of old horror and old sci-fi get overlooked.
Yes.
Because we have a bias towards the new, the modern, like, oh, if it's new, it's better.
Which I think really is not true.
It's not always true. I mean, it's true in
not at
some instances, but not all.
It depends on what it is, right?
But I think that that's part of this idea that, oh, well, it's an old movie, it's going to suck.
Well, this is the great thing about older films, and that we really need to go back to that because most of older films are based in their stories and their performances. Nowadays, everything is just a bunch of smoke and mirror CGI bullshit.
Yeah.
They're not built on the back of their performances and their story. And that's one of the biggest problems we have in films today. And that's even in horror films. I mean, because look, we watch this film, a lot of these scenes they didn't have music. You see, so it is the performances and it's the different effects.
And it's
there's
also
a lot
thinking
more to
about
it. A lot more,
yourself.
there's more nuance to this, you know?
It's also thinking about yourself in that situation, right? Like, you are the parent, you are the significant other, you know, you are the sibling who just watched her brother get killed.
Yes.
So you can put yourself in this situation in your mind, and that intensifies that discomfort. That intensifies the feeling of like,
yes,
oh my God, this would be terrible. This would not just be scary. It would be existentially devastating, right? When you think about losing the person that you love, losing your child, you know.
Yeah, that's why she was catatonic pretty much through the entire film for the most part. All right, take it or leave it. Bob.
I mean, I would definitely take it.
All right. I would 1,000,000% take it. I've loved this film for almost my entire life. Quags, what do you think? Take it or leave it?
Take it. It's good.
All right, so Quags is going to take it.
We've got Dark in the comments saying that he'd only ever seen parts of this movie on TV a long time ago. He'd never watched the full version.
All right, so we go. Everybody
he's
took
seen
it.
The 70s version.
Yes, this is the 1968 classic Night of the Living Dead. For anybody that comes in here after we've shown it.
But yeah.
It is a great film.
You know, if you're like another really, really good movie, and it's definitely not a horror film, so it's actually kind of a fun film. It's a film called Topper. That's a really good. That's good.
It's funny.
The Thin Man.
It's more like Abbott and Costello.
It is.
It's like classic
it is a little
what do you call it? Slapstick comedy
It is
kind of thing.
slapstick, yeah.
Yes.
But Cary Grant and oh God, who is the
Cary
blonde?
Grant. Who? The blonde?
I forgot the blonde's name.
I don't remember.
She's the one who died young because she was like a weird religion that couldn't receive medical help.
Wow. She Jehovah's Witness?
I forget. No, maybe.
Maybe she was a Rastafarian.
She was definitely not a Rastafarian. I forget what her name was, but she was really, really pretty.
Yes. A lot of them were.
Jean Harlow.
Jean Harlow, yes.
And that's that if we can watch that movie, that would be a really fun movie to watch.
I'll go look into it and see, like I said, what the legality is on that. Because what we don't want to do is play a film and the stream gets cut down while we're in the middle of the film.
For sure.
You know?
But, you know, as Fu has said, as I've had, I grew up watching, I pretty much didn't watch anything more recent than like 1970 until I was in high school. That was Mayfu. I'm sorry. I hit one of his monitors.
Yeah, she hit the monitor. Sometimes the dog smashes into stuff.
But, so I grew up watching the old movies, like all of them, many of them.
Yes.
So.
What about you, Quags? Are you big into older films?
Some of them, obviously, like my dad made me watch some of this shit. So, like, have you seen like The Day the Earth Stood Still?
Yes.
Stood Still?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it.
Like one of the first sci-fi.
Yeah.
Like, that was all right.
The remake was pretty good as well. The remake wasn't too bad. It's actually starring Keanu Reeves. He plays the alien that comes in there. I like the scene where the woman's like, "Our planet." And he says, "Our planet?" Or "Your planet?" Something like that. I thought it was really funny how menacing he is. But, without any kind of exaggerated dialogue. He's just like, it's like, he's just...
Keanu Reeves had
Botox
responding face before he had
really?
Botox.
He came to, I forget why he comes to the planet. He tells them that if you don't do these things, I'm going to destroy the planet. Something like that. Yeah, I remember it just being a pretty good remake. Obviously, it's on a much larger scale. That is a film that actually probably is better served with modern CGI.
Yeah.
Just because, you see the originals, these little cheap flying saucers.
Yeah.
This stuff, they could have done this kind of film in the 30s.
Yeah.
The shots, everything could have been done. It's the computer effects for something as grand as that, outer space scenes and all that. You got to have that works best with modern CGI, I think. But yeah, is that the world? I was big into my uncle. We would watch. Me and my uncle would watch all the Bond films. That was how I think I got introduced to older films. I was really into shows like The Outer Limits and The Twilight Zone. That was I think that's really where I got introduced to black and white film was The Twilight Zone, the original series. Obviously, I thought it was amazing, and I still do think it's amazing. Those stories hold up really well nowadays. I mean, I come back to them all the time when I look at the world around me. Especially the what was the other one? The Obsolete Man.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good one.
To Serve Man's an awesome one, but that's more just sci-fi horror, right? Interesting that never was made into a film. To Serve Man. What do you think, Bob?
It definitely could have been, but I think that sometimes people are really intimidated by going in because a lot of those stories, even though they were done in short form, felt very complete. So when you go in to turn it into a longer feature film, you have to think about it. If you actually love the story, you want to improve it. You don't want to just cash grab it. So I think that some of those stories haven't been turned into feature-length films because the story as it was told originally was correct and complete.
Yes, this is a great one. Even though some of like I said, some of the performances, it's a little bit uneven. It holds up, and I think it actually has more layers to it than the remake or most zombie films or films of the genre, right, Bob? Mm-hmm. Like 28 Days Later, as great as it is as a zombie film, it doesn't have the layers that this film has. It has a lot to it that you can read into.
Well, I think that you also have to kind of think about the mindset that the audience is approaching the film with, right? In the 60s, most people were still reading a lot. They one of their primary forms of entertainment was reading still. Now people have lost the appreciation for nuance because they're so used to either short form content or visual content that does not require them to utilize their higher reasoning.
Well, we're also not really
the imagination. You're right.
We're also not really talking to each other like we used to. Even though this is great, the internet, many times we don't see each other's faces, and a lot of the reading we're doing of these performances is reading human behavior and the nuances of their expressions. And so if we're going around just sitting around all day watching bullshit, and not communicating face to face, we're losing a lot of that. And that's the scary part.
Reading stimulates brain activity. So, I mean, it's simple as that. Mm-hmm. If you're sitting around watching something tell you something versus you physically reading it and having to conceptualize it, what do you think is going to really do you the better over the long term? It's not that hard to really deduce. It's easy, but that's why they keep saying the IQ's dropping. It's because technology is kind of taking over a lot of the way how we used to learn over the years, right? It's easier now. So you don't have to, maybe it was better for things to be harder in some ways, right?
Almost 100% of the time, actually. There's been a number of studies that show specifically, now a lot of kids have tablets and have computers. You learn things more efficiently and you actually learn things faster if you write it out by hand. So when I was in school, I didn't have a computer. I didn't have a laptop. I had to take my notes with a pen or a pencil or whatever it was. And you retain information much more effectively because the act of actually writing it down starts to create a pathway in your brain. That does not happen when you type.
Yeah, you're seeing and doing it simultaneously. You're right. And then on top of that, you're memorizing, you watching yourself. It's kind of, you're doing 3 processes at once.
Yep. And so the loss of transcription as a method of memorization has had a significant effect. This is also why people can't read maps anymore, right? You used to have to actually like plan out your route on a map. Now, not only people can't read maps, but they have no idea how to actually remember the directions from point A to point B, even if they've gone there 47,000 times. That's a problem. And there have been some studies that have come out from child studies labs, and that sounds very ominous, but it really just like, it's not any sort of nefarious activity. Many child studies labs just study the way children behave and learn. And children, particularly preschool age children, have lost or are losing the ability to differentiate and effectively identify facial expressions as they pertain to emotion.
It's getting bad. It's getting real bad.
Because they're looking at tablets.
That's just like I said. Yeah, they're not communicating with each other.
I'm sure COVID didn't help when they put masks over everybody's face too.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. That damaged kids in so many different ways.
And now you've got those kids are now entering later elementary school and they cannot emote. They cannot identify emotions in each other. It's actually really scary because you've essentially you have artificially created autism.
Yeah.
That's what you've done.
Said, you saw that study with the after COVID was done, like the most needed teachers were speech therapists, and like I was like, that's freaking like you almost have to laugh to stop from crying. Like you created a bunch of people that like are literally deficient now.
Yeah.
But they also damage their immune systems by masking them up
tremendously.
That's been a known fact for a long time. The kids need to build their immune system, and they get that through interacting with the world around them by getting those germs in their system. So they probably created a bunch of diabetics, gave people a bunch of eczema and asthma, and other conditions.
Yeah.
I mean, I work with. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
We are all gonna go ahead.
Wait! Everybody freeze. We're gonna watch the trailer for what is that? The day the world stood still. The earth stood still. Here it is. This is the remake.
Oh boy.
Your attention, please.
Oh shit. Great.
Oh, goodness.
Sorry about that.
Oh goodness.
It's a stupid hotkey. It keeps effing things up.
Your attention, please. Make your way directly across the courtyard to the main barracks.
Crack me up. I feel
Leave
like
all your cell phones and cameras
this
here.
is how I would operate if I ran a channel.
Hey, what the F?
Shit's all over the place. Like,
I mean, it's pretty good. It's
I got it. It's right here.
It's just like created hotkeys, and so sometimes it'll activate things it's not supposed to activate. All right, so this is the remake I was telling you about for the day the Earth stood still.
Thought it was important to have you part of this team. Don't be afraid.
Afraid of what?
It's very low quality.
Mm-hmm.
I need to
You
know.
picked it, bro.
I'm going to ask you a series of control questions. Are you currently in a
I know karate.
position?
Yes.
Do you feel pain?
My body does.
Are you human?
My body is.
General Quinn needs to see you in the briefing room. He says it's urgent.
Are you aware of an impending attack?
On the planet Earth.
I'll repeat the question.
Did you feel that? Feel what? You should let me go.
If the Earth dies, you die. If you die, the Earth survives.
All right, so that's the Green New Deal right there. Isn't it, Bob? All right, give me 1 second. That is kind of the Green New Deal in a nutshell, right? Just anti-human all the way. The movie does kind of have like an anti-human bend to it. I mean, it probably should have been directed by Charles Manson, but he was in prison.
Well, yeah. I mean, that
he
would have
couldn't
really
direct
been the cherry
Directed
on
by
that
Klaus
ice cream sundae.
Schwab.
Yeah,
Never Sobers has appeared in the comments saying he expected more from this movie.
What?
It left you wanting. I'm sorry that there was not more naked zombie butt
He didn't
in
even.
the film.
He didn't even watch it. Don't listen
Sobers
to him.
is
He didn't
just
watch it.
he's being full of crap.
But yeah, no. Like,
He's being racist right now.
I think that part of, and this gets a little into perhaps not suitable for U-cylinder territory, but
What?
I do think that part of why the education system is in the state that it's in is because when you remove the ability for people to think critically, by limiting their ability to read critically, you create a generation of compliance. You don't have people who are sitting here thinking about the broader scope of the action taken. You have a bunch of people sitting here entertained by sports ball and whatever other celebrity nonsense is occurring. Like, there is absolutely no reason that everybody should be talking about Kendrick Lamar at this particular moment in time.
My mic just keeps changing in sensitivity. I have no idea why.
Never Sober's clarified in the comments that he is talking about The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Oh, you saw that film? Yeah, I mean, me too. I thought it could have been a better.
I mean, it
but-
was very heavily based on
give it a
a
second.
real
I don't know what's
UFO
up with this
sighting
audio.
incident from Rendlesham Forest, which
1
was
second.
an Air Force base. Is, I think, still an Air Force base, perhaps. Somebody in the UK, correct me on that one. But that is very, very heavily influenced by the Rendlesham incident.
What is?
The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yes. I thought it was pretty good. I even liked the original. It's very campy. It's very cheesy, but I like it. I like cheesy stuff. I'm weird.
That's all right. We love you because you're weird.
This freaking thing just keeps changing the sensitivity. I noticed the microphones.
having such a hard
Hopefully
time.
they weren't getting loud because this piece of shit keeps changing my sensitivity to whatever the hell it
Lord
wants.
have mercy. Stop
Make me-
fighting with your
Oh,
computer,
see, it's a
please.
63 again. So the whole time Quags has been here, this piece of shit's been trying to raise my audio. Check. People, I fucking hate these programs that they go in and they start dicking around with your settings. Look, it's set 63
goodness.
right now. It shouldn't be doing that. It's supposed to be at 45.
I'm sorry.
Piece of shit. And every time I change it, it keeps putting itself back at that higher sensitivity. You mother. You piece of... Grr! All right, with that said, people, it is now 12:41.
Yep.
All right, we're going to be getting out of here. Remember to hit that like button
But hey, Quags,
for
it's
more
been
amazing
really,
content like this.
It's been really cool having you actually like talking.
Yes.
In a
yes.
way that we can hear you.
Thank you.
Yes, we can hear them. Next
you.
time,
Thank you for having me.
I'll open the Discord. You can jump on the Discord because then we can hear you a little cleaner. This Google Voice shit is not exactly the best, but it allows people to get on even if they're on a cell phone or whatever. Which I think you could do that through Discord as well, but yeah, whatever. It works.
No worries.
It works sort of.
You just made Quags very quiet, so I can't hear him anymore.
Okay, I'm going to bring up his audio, but this thing keeps raising it. It's super duper loud. All right, say that one more time, Quags.
I said no worries. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, no problem. We got to get your information to send you stuff. Sobers is in here too. I have to send him a Little Shop of Horrors and a couple other little things. But Quags won the trivia, people. He won. He's a trivia winner. I got to make these questions a million times harder. I don't want to make them too hard. That's the thing. You know, I don't. But with that said, we want to thank Quags for coming in here and doing the stuff. We'll be, if you send us your information, we'll send you some crap. Not crap, cool stuff. Cool stuff. But with that, hopefully I'm not super loud. Let me check my mic. Check. Okay. It's decent. It's decent. With that said, people, we've concluded another episode of the most amazing show on the internet. This is Foo Theater. We want to thank everybody that came in here tonight and watched this amazing film with us. Well, we talked over it, but that made it better. Just kidding. It made it different. But with that said, we want to thank everybody that came in here tonight, especially Quags, because he's cool. And he's not a zombie. We hate zombies. Want to know why? Because they're assholes. Right, Bob?
Correct.
Yes. Wait, I got to turn off this 28 Days Later music. It really isn't appropriate for the outro. Give me one moment. I need a moment, Bob. Any moment. Are you going to give me a moment?
No.
It's just such a bad segue. Like, why can't you just get out?
Okay. From me.
He has this like obsessive compulsive need to just be chaotic all of the time.
All right. Let me say
tell me he wasn't a DJ. He just stops in the middle of the mix. He's like, hang on a second. Like, this song's really good. You know, like,
this is a good song. Let's hear this again.
That would be like, that needs to be the subtitle of his autobiography. Give me a second.
All right. I'm going to need a second. I got to say this.
Oh my God.
All right. Let me say it again. You guys are messing me up.
He is a meme of himself.
You're messing me up.
Like, what you guys don't realize is this isn't like a performance persona. This is what he's like all the time. Like, all the time. I've lived with this man for 13 years.
Okay. Look.
This is what he is like 100% of the time.
With that said, you going to let me speak or what? I'm going to have to scream.
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe I'll put on the end of House on Haunted Hill when that lady gets thrown into the vat of acid and just keeps screaming. She's like, Remember that, Bob?
I do.
You want me to put that on and repeat?
No, I would like you to proceed with what you were doing. Oh my God.
We want to thank Quacks coming in here. And I want to thank everybody that came in here and watched us with us. You want to say thanks to some of the people in the comments, Bob?
Yeah, we had some of the usual suspects. We had Never Sobers, we had Iceman, we had Dark.
So many people.
We had Technique, a new face in the crowd. Hello.
All right,
we had
thank you for coming in here.
Recognize the Matrix. I think you've been in here before. We had UFO Cafe, who was apparently a pigeon or something, unclear.
He'd been in here
was
before.
Kind of being a dick. But you know,
he's been a bit racist, but that's what he is.
We had El Pinchy, we had Rusty Cage.
We had all kinds of people, millions of people.
We had folks.
So many people.
We had peoples. We had Quags, of course.
Yes, obviously. Remember, hit that like button. Supposedly it helps. We're being throttled that's for damn sure. We are pretty damn amazing.
Marijuana makes Foo extremely paranoid.
Yeah, I don't smoke weed. I actually just drank coffee before this. I think I actually had one beer.
If he participated in edibles, it would be a very bad situation for literally everybody involved.
Terrible. It'll make me go completely insane. I'll hit every button I have here. You wouldn't like the show at all. If you don't or currently don't like, actually you might like it more. But with that said, we want to thank everybody that came in here. Y'all don't have to go home, but you got to get the beep out of here. But
Lord
we want
mercy.
Sorry, I didn't mean that in a negative way. From me, Bob, and the entire Foo Theater mob, which is millions of people, obviously, we want to wish you all a good night.
Good night.
Tune in next time for more Foo Theater, the greatest show on earth. Good night.